Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Fahey, your host. It is John Boy time. I am the COVID kid. I am COVID barely 18. Joining me as ever, Michelangelo's David Duchovny, the hostest with the mostest. 3 children stacked on top of each other in a trench coat, disguising themselves as an adult man. Each child ripped, muscular as hell. Each of them has a huge, uncut, veiny cock. Mm-hmm. All of those kids.
All of them.
And I don't will that. That's just how it is.
No, and it's resting on the one below them's head.
Yes.
One of them.
In an elephant trunk-like fashion.
Yeah. In a pachydermy fashion. Taxidermy?
Aaron Joseph Peter, how are you?
Hey, man. Feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You psyched up about quarantine?
I'm really loving quarantine.
Yeah? You loving this election weather?
Oh, God. Yeah, I just really was a big fan of the debate.
I was too.
I thought it was so great.
Yeah, it's a really good showcase.
I thought it was like
two brilliant minds.
A lot of steps were made for dual talking.
Yeah. It's almost like
it's like a kindergarten Zoom show.
Because when you do that, we speak with one voice as a people.
That's right.
That's what I know. And basically, all I heard was a lot of agreement.
Oh, you know what I thought was the best part of it is that at least 5 to 7 different people sent me the same meme from the debate where the split screen, when you saw it right in the middle.
Oh,
it
the
made
PP. I saw
seven different people sent it to me directly.
Yeah, and then the profiles, branch.
Well.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for. I mean, we really have a solid branding here.
We do. Yeah, people
absolutely.
were like PP. Beyond everything, they were like, here's the
real takeaway.
The literal writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Was PP.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And that's how we're also all one, because it's number one.
And that's right. And
you got P on this wall, you got P on that wall.
I feel really blessed.
Yeah.
Really blessed to be a part of such a great society.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't feel like it's the end of the world. I don't feel like it's...
that smell is definitely not the infrastructure burning.
Yeah.
Well, it's infrastructure week, so it's perfect.
Oh, good. Infrastructure is weak.
Yeah, a lot of countries, they put their old people out to pasture.
Now, who's talking there? Is that my friend Matt Brousseau?
Oh, hi. Yeah.
Hey.
A lot of countries put their old people. Which ones?
The most countries out to pasture.
They do. They go to the elephant graveyard.
Yeah.
Nah.
Huh.
Yeah, we let them run.
Oh, all right.
Actually, I sent a picture to John of Kennedy and Nixon, and I was like,
From their debate?
Yeah.
Oh, we're like,
and they both have black hair. They didn't dye it. They're both young, and it was like just that same group of people is still president, basically.
right.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting though.
Like maybe their kid.
Don't you think
stepson?
for and I don't want to get
That age of people.
carried away with this because you got a profile to do, Aaron.
That's right.
But I think it's very funny that in that time, both of those guys were very young.
Yep.
For presidential candidates.
Sure.
And it's a time where it was the throes of the Cold War.
Well, because all the old people that had died or had PTSD.
But we all know there was a lot of old people that could have easily slid in there. But everybody chose a young person, and I think it was that same kind of thing.
Choice of a new generation.
Mm-hmm.
People were just like,
let's go.
Fresh eyes, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's have somebody like new on it. And yeah, you're right. It's still that same crew from Nixon that's still rattling around in there.
Yep.
But at the time, Nixon was, even for a Republican, he was very young, very new. And I think people were...
he also had been the vice president.
Yes, but still people were like, I think, ready for some bold changes.
He was a go-getter, that one.
And it's when you think about everybody looking back on like the good old days, they almost act as if it was always like some old guys in charge, and it really wasn't.
No, they
at
just
all.
that group of people just stayed in charge. for a while after that.
Exactly.
I think my favorite part was when the moderator brought up the issue of race and blackness in America, and then it immediately devolved into law and order.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you think? You talk about black
the problem
people,
with our cities is the rioting.
Well, and there's a small thing here too that I just want to say that I just happened to read up on because I was reading about McCarthy a little bit, and they were saying that in a Mitch McConnell like fashion that they were basically telling McCarthy like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're charged, like he went after Marshall from the Marshall Plan. Mm-hmm. He said you're a he's a communist. He would go after person after person after person.
Yeah,
and he would just. I mean, I think Truman called him like America's greatest man or something like that.
Well, he was red baiting for a while, and it just didn't catch on for a while.
But the party was saying eventually it will do enough damage that we'll get a president in. And it did. After that, Eisenhower got in. So even back then, the Republican Party was just like, tell lies, throw shit at the wall, and enough of it will stick that we will regain power. Mm-hmm. Like there's, we kind of act like this is all brand new. No, this is a very old playbook.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But hopefully, people are sick of it by now.
Maybe for 4 years, and then I'll be back.
Anyway. Now, Aaron, I understand you want to talk about some kind, gentle soul.
Yeah. This is gonna be really good. I guess we're talking about race in America,
in our cities,
right? I want to talk to you guys a little bit about a very, very important figure in Black America. And also and who ended up having an incredible effect on then pop culture at large. And it's also
subtly
and not so subtly, but certainly you wouldn't hear about it, in the
a lot of people don't know this guy's name,
right? But Dave Chappelle brought him up in one of his last comedy specials. Ice Cube and Ice-T took their namesake from this gentleman. Ended up being one of the, if not the best-selling African-American author in America in his time. 6 million copies of books sold.
It's incredible.
Yeah. This is the story of Iceberg Slim.
Yeah.
Notorious pimp and author. Mm-hmm. So I had heard about him before, and then Chappelle did the thing, and then I just saw one more thing on YouTube about him. I was like, I gotta get this book. Pimp is one. This was the first book that he wrote, autobiography. Some liberties taken with his own story, just to kind of make it more efficient. He's changed some names in it because of the code of not like snitching on people, because a lot of people were still alive when he wrote it. But I also have the actual biography by Justin Gifford, which is a little more historically accurate. This book is still it's number 4 on Amazon's I think Philosophy of Good and Evil section.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty great. So this guy is just has such an incredible way with words that a lot of the stuff I'm going to go back and read to you the way he says it, because it's so poetic and rhythmic and musical. And you can kind of see how he had a big hand in influencing rap and rap culture.
Yeah.
So I will be diving into the book, and then for Patreon listeners, I will be playing clips from the audiobook and different interviews and stuff like that, because you just got to hear the guy talk.
And the audiobook is read by Scotty
Bowers? Yeah. No, it's really the guy who did the audiobook for Scotty Bowers.
She came back. She had my money. I said I was pleased.
You scurvy bitch. So this is let me just pull up my notes. This is the story of Robert Beck, aka Robert Moppins, aka Kavanaugh Slim, aka Iceberg Slim. He was born August 4th, 1918 in Chicago, Illinois. And his parents were part of the Great Migration, which was the great...
From the South.
Exactly, from the South, of about 6 million American blacks who left the South because of segregation, Jim Crow laws, entrenched racism, no opportunity whatsoever than sharecropping. Basically, slavery was still going on when his parents are around, growing up. So they moved to Chicago, and there was just not even there with the manufacturing taking place and World War I industries taking place there in the Midwest. There still were not a lot of great opportunities.
Entrenched races.
Yes, it was. So, wages were basically 3 times higher in the North and the Midwest than they were in the South for black men and women. Even the women that were just doing domestic work or cooking were still making more money than men were in the South.
There's more of a market. There's more people.
There's more people and slightly more progressive attitudes towards race.
But really, I mean, the competition would be enough to drive the wage up.
Yeah, and there were people were gone in war too.
Yeah.
His dad was a real piece of shit. When he was basically a newborn, his dad told his mom to leave him on a Catholic church step. He
don't do that.
He was a Southern guy, and he comes to the big city, and so he just got trapped in the glitz and the temptation and the vice of this big city in Chicago's, I believe, the Black Bottom neighborhood. That might have been Milwaukee, but in their black neighborhood, it was just, it was the white part of the city that kind of forced the black neighborhood to be the den of vice,
right.
For them to go
the South Side.
Exactly. And he was, gambling a lot, prostitutes a lot, spending all their money.
Hey, if you give the baby away,
give the baby away.
You don't lose
one less. It is one less mouth to feed.
It's no good in a poker game.
He got so mad at Robert that he threw him against the wall.
Oof.
As a baby.
Jesus.
His mom left him shortly after that.
And took the baby?
She took the baby, yes. Picked him, scraped him off the wall, and ran away. When he... Before I get to the next part, let me just give you a quick...
taste of the...
I'll give you a taste of his life and why I'm doing this story, and to kind of give you a heads up on the subject matter and the language and the themes, because it's
rough,
triggering. I hate that word, but this is him from the preface of his book. In this book, I will take you, the reader, with me into the secret inner world of the pimp. I will lay bare my life and thoughts as a pimp. The account of my brutality and cunning as a pimp will fill many of you with revulsion. However, if one intelligent, valuable young man or woman can be saved from the destructive slime, then the displeasure I have given will have been outweighed by that individual's use of his potential in a socially constructive manner. I regret that it is impossible to recount to you all of my experiences as a pimp. Unfortunately, it would require the combined pages of 6 books. Perhaps my remorse for my ghastly life will diminish to the degree that within this one book I have been allowed to purge myself. Perhaps one day I can win respect as a constructive human being. Most of all, I wish to become a decent example for my children and for that wonderful woman in the grave, my mother.
Wow.
His earliest memory is when he's 3 years old, and his babysitter, Maud, molests him. His mom worked long hours in a laundry, and Maud was paid 50 cents a day to watch young baby 3-year-old Robert. She was a young widow. She had a reputation as a devout holy roller. He can't really remember her face, but he remembers this. I remember more vividly the moist, odorous darkness and the bristle-like hairs tickling my face, and most vividly I can remember my panic when in the wild moment of her climax, she would savagely jerk my head even tighter into the hairy maw.
Wow.
I couldn't get a breath of air until, like a huge black balloon, she would exhale with a whistling whoosh and relax, limply freeing my head. I remember the ache of the strain on my fragile neck muscles, and especially at the root of my tongue. That's his first memory.
Oh God.
It's a feel-good story.
Yeah.
For her.
Maud.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. You just awake out of darkness.
Ah!
Ah!
Yeah.
This is the world?
You're the sitter?
His mother.
Was the babysitter.
His mother.
Oh, you
Oh
asshole.
no!
I'm not happy about it.
No, you are. And I am too, because that's fucking mad. Oh my
good,
God,
man.
you're sick.
I'm impressed.
I never knew you could sink to these levels. Very, very into that.
So later, his mother would meet a man, Henry Upshaw, who would basically be the only truly positive male figure in his life, the only man that he ever really loved or looked up to.
Was he just kind of a normal guy?
Normal guy, upstanding businessman. He ran a laundry and tailoring business in the black neighborhood. And catering to the burgeoning middle class of African Americans in the city. His mother, through his help and all that, opened her own beauty salon. He was a good student in middle school, Robert. Good speller, good vocab, clearly. He would go to church, did the Boy Scout troop. The customers in his mom's shop were basically all the pimps and prostitutes and hustlers because they were there. They had the money to spend.
Had to look good.
Not a lot of white people were going into the neighborhood to get their shit done like that. And they had to look good. And he got him, saw this as this, something's going on here. This is interesting. These people are they're really living it up. And then there was this guy that would come into the shop, Steve. And Steve was a good looking dude, fanciful. I think he was getting his nails done the first time he saw him. And the mom starts falling for Henry. And
Wait, who's Henry?
Henry is the guy who came into the shop.
Oh, wait, who's Steve?
Who's
then?
Steve then?
I'm sorry. She starts falling for Steve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Henry doesn't really know about it yet because Henry's, he's running his laundry.
Upshaw.
Henry Upshaw.
Yeah.
The stepfather to
Right.
Robert.
He's working. He's doing the 9 to 5.
Exactly. If not longer.
Dry cleaning.
Providing.
His nails are filthy.
But Robert's mom starts slowly kind of buying Steve, the hustler's bullshit, and seducing her. And
Jesus.
he basically convinces her they con Henry, they steal his shit, and they move to Chicago.
The businesses?
Yeah, they steal his property, stuff in his house, money.
Oh God.
And she says, "Oh no, we're just going to see my cousin in Chicago. We'll be back." And he's basically pleading.
Why are you taking the couch?
He can kind of read the writing on the wall. What's happening here? That she's being conned by this smooth talking hustler who's dicking her down and promising her the world.
Yeah.
And he's breaking down. Henry is breaking down to her, and Robert is breaking down to Henry. And she said Robert said just the icy glare in my mom's face was just something I never forgot or forgave.
The icy glare towards him?
Towards Henry, as he was pleading for her not to leave because he loved her. He was not the best looking guy or anything, but he was just.
Who's Henry Upshaw?
He was Henry Upshaw, upstanding Upshaw.
Yeah.
So they go to Chicago. They leave Henry behind, the only man that.
Chi-Town, Windy City.
That's right. The second city. They go to Chicago, and they find Robert's real father, who has apparently straightened out, got his shit right. And part of the con with Steve is Steve pretends to be Robert's mom's cousin, and they want to they need to stay there for a couple days while they get on their feet.
With Robert's original dad?
Yeah. Yes. And when Robert's original dad is at work, they empty his apartment, take all of his shit, all his furniture.
So they planned that whole.
Yeah, Henry did.
Yeah.
Henri.
No, Steve.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Steve.
Henry Upshaw's back there crying his
that's
eyes
right.
out.
Yeah. And Robert's with Henry. Or
No,
Robert's
Robert's with his mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Robert and Steve and
Maud? No, Maud.
No, Maud.
Maud, she's got off.
Mary.
Mary.
Um,
I'm catching up.
she goes by Mama for most of the book. So I'm gonna call her Mama.
What did Mama do next?
She got her ass beat a lot
By Steve.
Yeah. Steve, all the money that they got conning both Henry,
Man after man.
he just blew gambling and shooting dice.
And he's like, where's
same
the
thing.
rest?
Same thing. What happened to his real dad? It was just like all the vice and opportunity. They just blew it.
Yeah.
He would threaten to kill Robert if he didn't run away. He couldn't stand like the competition or even just him being there. For Christmas, he got a kitten from his mom, and Steve killed it in front of him. Yeah, he's a real piece of shit. And then like the serious resentment towards his mother starts here as he's getting a little bit older.
Now, were his mom doing any drugs with this guy?
No, as far as we know, no, she wasn't doing any drugs. She just got wrapped up. He even says in the book, he said for what the son of a bitch that he was, for her to stick around, he must have been fucking really good in bed.
Yeah. Well, and also he was abusing her.
Yes.
So he was beating her, and that's
and then
control.
the sweetness afterwards and all that, and just
But also, I think his resentment is coming from seeing the lengths she'd go to with, people that he trusted or
exactly.
admired.
Yeah.
He saw. I mean, this would
certainly.
his first experiences with women are being molested and then being betrayed or having her betray
People he cares about.
His surrogate father for another man.
Yeah, and ruining any chance of normalcy.
And then also his biological father, when he comes back into his life.
Exactly.
And
so
he gets fucked
in
over
so
too.
many different ways.
Yeah, these are his. These are like the
And then he's also intrinsically tied to her. So,
and he sees the power that this guy has over everybody. So it's all.
but he's also thinking these men that he respects or potentially could respect.
They're getting walked over.
Well, but they're also being like, all right, well, you're with her,
Right.
whether you're my son or my stepson. Like, so he's kind of getting viewed through the same lens, and that's going to lead to resentment too, because he's not really on board with it.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
Do you think, real quick, I mean, I don't want to get into the end of episode discussion, but do you think there has to be a bad mom imbalance to become a pimp?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But yeah, that specific conversation later happens with a shrink when he's in prison. 3 months after he kills his cat, the mom, his mama, and they book it and they move into a hotel in the city.
Mm-hmm.
One night on his birthday, he was waiting for his mom to come home from work to bake him a cake.
Okay.
And she came home 3 days later with her jaw wired shut and her body covered in bruises. Steve had stalked her in the streets for looking for her and beat the shit out of her, and then kicked her fists and feet, and then just escape through, quote, the grimy catacombs of the ghetto. He says that 20 years later, this is just kind of a quick jump forward. He says while he was in a really nice hotel suite when he was later in his pimp game, and he was just looking out the window and he saw something familiar in the face of a garbage collector down the street, and he blacked out. And the next thing he knew, he woke up and he was holding a gun pointing at the guy, and the whole crowd was watching on the street, and one of his prostitutes was like begging him to like put the gun down and come back into the hotel and get off the street. And he ended up, coming to and realizing, holy shit, what am I doing? But he like fucking blacked out and almost killed Steve.
Oh, so you recognized him?
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah.
Did he pistol whip him?
No.
I just.
God damn.
So, this experience that he had early growing on, all this trauma, is kind of what. It's one of those things you always become the thing that you hate most. You become like your abuser, right? So, as he's becoming a teenager, he gets what he calls street poisoned, and he starts playing craps in the streets, and he starts, smoking herb and stuff like that. So it is kind of like, Magneto becoming a eugenicist, there's a quote here.
Good point, Aaron.
I always go back to comic books. He says that he was sopping up the poison of the street like a sponge, and dangerously, I was frantic to sock it into every young girl weak enough to go for it. I had to run for my life one evening when an enraged father caught me on his back porch punching animal-like astraddle his daughter's head. I had become impatient with the unusual thickness of her maidenhead. Hyman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was de-virginizing and really got a little bit impatient.
Yeah.
Started hanging around a lot of like the hustlers in the neighborhood. He met this one guy who was called Party Time, and
you know what's happening when that guy shows up.
Yeah, it was called Party Time because every time he would do a con or hustle and make some scratch, he would he'd show up to the bar and say, "All right, you poor ass bastards, it's party time, and Joe Evans is in port with enough scratch to burn up a wet elephant. All you studs, stop playing stink finger with these long cock whores, and everybody belly up to the log and get twisted on me."
Wow.
Just the rap, like this book has so much like the only note that the editors had when he wrote this book was, "I need a glossary," and the back 3 pages are a glossary of terms. Black 5 pages are a glossary of terms.
Party Time's pretty cool guy.
Joe Evans' Party Time.
Yeah, he sounds fun.
His real first encounter with Party Time was when Robert was hanging out just out in the street around these good time clubs and hotels, and he saw Party Time walk into this hotel room, and he could kind of peek through, and
it looks like a party in there.
He saw he saw this tall Viking type white man and his tiny but voluptuous female white companion and Party Time all taking their clothes off.
Nice.
And finally they were all standing there naked, and he could see their lips moving, but he couldn't hear, so he put his ear up against the window, and he said that the white Joker was tenderly hefting Party Time's weapon in his hand, like maybe it was a Ming Dynasty pottery. He said excitedly to the broad, "Oh, honey, can you believe the size, the beauty of it?" And he says, in the glow of the room's red light, the broad looked like an animated portrait by Da Vinci. Her eyes were blue fire in her passion. She purred like a Persian kitten and pounced onto the bed. Party Time stood at the side of the bed looking down at her. He was an ebony executioner. His horizontal axe cast a cruel shadow across the snowy peaks, rose-tipped. We're talking about breasts. My trouser front was tented as I pressed even tighter against the window. I had never seen anything like this back in Rockford. Then
Rockford,
Illinois.
Can't keep him in Rockford.
The white man said a strange thing as he pulled the chair to the end of the bed and sat on the very edge of it. He was breathing hard when he said, "All right now, boys, stab it. Stab it into her, hurt her, punish her, crucify her. Jesus good boy, Christ. Good boy."
Yikes.
He saw Party Time studying out for this, this white couple, and that was pretty, not uncommon for good old white folk to come down to the black neighborhoods to kind of live out their taboo fantasies.
Right. Some cuckery.
That's right. Yeah. Some interracial cuckoldry, hot wife bull scenario. And so when Party Time leaves, that's when he kind of approaches him and plays dumb. And he's like, "Hey, man, what did you do? She was a real fine dime up there, And that's how he kind of ingratiates himself to Party Time to learn kind of the ways of the con and eventually getting into prostitution and pimping. He sees this, and this is like, holy shit. And that's how he gets to know.
That's
Joe
a
Adams.
wild time.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. I mean, his trouser front was
If you're talking about jobs, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you're gonna intern at a job,
Yeah.
they say if you do what you love.
that's a hell of a one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Start from the bottom.
Like, like electrical engineer has anything where a guy's being like, do you see do you see how amazing it is? But now you're gonna fuck me for some reason because you have weird racist shit going on in your head.
Yeah, when I put that oven in, I come.
Ugh, God.
Oh boy.
What a nightmare.
Especially because he's just walking past. He's like, I'm going to go to the bar and have a big... Oh, hey, what's
Aaron loves it too.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I say it's a nightmare. He goes,
some nightmares
So that's
of dreams.
his first mentor into
the hustle.
Right. No, he's at 4 o'clock in his hero's journey. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe 3:30. He's crossed the threshold now. He's finding his.
Who's to say?
He's his
I never
mentor.
judged.
So Party Time is a little bit older than him, right? He's in his 20s, and they start pulling kind of this. What you find out to be kind of a low rent version of the Murphy Con.
What's the Murphy?
The Murphy Con, the real version of it is when white guys would come from the suburbs into the city. The con would go up to the Mark, the white guy, and be like, "Oh, you look, I know why you're in town. I know all the best places. There's this, there's a spot up the street where they got all the finest girls, the nasty,
You're here to fuck.
yeah, they do the nastiest shit,
I do anything.
right?
Fuck a dog.
No morality, but and I got to get you in because they don't just let anybody in, but also that that these women can't be trusted. So
You need me to protect you.
you need me to protect you and
Let me
take you up.
watch.
Here, take all your shit, your jewelry and your money and put it in this envelope and I'll hold it. And there's a few other things in the Murphy about kind of appealing to the guy's insecurity about not being able to afford it and stuff. There's all sorts of little mind games in the Murphy, but you take the guy up and you take his shit under the guise of keeping it from the hookers, from prostitutes, from stealing it from you, right? Because these women are
it's
crooks.
smart. You don't want to just leave it, on your person.
No,
And
you
so
want to
then-
leave it with some strange guy you never met
Yeah.
before.
I'll be here waiting, all
Get
that.
you into this exclusive club.
So
Well, it's also a thing too where you think like you're going. It's the beginning of a journey.
Yes.
right, and
It's not, and it's the end.
yeah. So that's what the Murphy is. Him and Party Time, Robert and Party Time, they would do he would have Robert, who was 14 at the time. He'd dress him up in a red dress and put him at the dark end of an alley. And then when the white guy would come up, Party Time would be like, "Oh, that's her over there," and here, give me the money, go walk down there. And once the guy was in the middle of the alley, they would both just book
Boom.
in.
Yeah.
And then they split the money.
This guy's just hanging.
And then Murphy would be left with his dick in his hand.
And that's what they call
Alright,
Murphy's.
jeez.
Oh.
Ain't this a bitch now? I got no watch. I don't know what time it is or any fucking thing. Ara.
How many calls to the cops of robbery were just guys trying to fuck and just handing their jewels to a
I'm
stranger?
after getting me fucking life savings stolen. I don't have a fucking pot to piss in, you see.
They took the
I
pot.
was just trying to nut.
Murphy.
But this,
God.
in Street Poison, there's just a lot more context in terms of the dynamics of race in these cities after the Great Migration, and how the cops kind of turned a blind eye to a lot of these districts because, one, it gives you the excuse to say that these people are animals.
Yes.
Two,
They police themselves.
they police themselves, and then you as the upper class and the whites get to
look down on them.
and they get to use them
Right.
as their own vice.
Oh yes, the things that
Yes.
you wouldn't do,
Yes.
Right.
those people will do,
Right.
In the same way that the Christians had the Jews handle the money.
Right, and then they
And
still
then it's
benefit
the
from
stigma.
it
Yes,
because most of the clients of these places,
we're too good for this,
but also
but we want this service available.
exactly.
Yes.
And there's a lot of breakdown in both books about that in two very different languages. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. It is.
I'll play some of it.
The white hypocrisy is just
Yeah, he would then work that into some-
absurd.
yeah.
Absurd.
Actually, can we take a little break?
Sure.
Sure.
Sorry.
And we're back.
So, at this point, Robert's, he's getting into some, lascivious activities. He's coming home really late at night, he's living with his mom, and she kind of sees what's going on, right? And so she's very like active in the community, and she's part of all these civic groups and stuff. And
Really?
yeah, she's she was a nice middle class,
Still a PTA mom.
pretty much. I mean, she wasn't in the PTA
For all intensive purposes.
For all intensive purposes. Yeah, she was making, she was very active in the black community. And so she, knowing that Robert was otherwise somebody with potential, she made some calls and pulled some strings to get him accepted at the Tuskegee Institute.
Really?
Yes. There were alumni in a lot of our groups and stuff. And so he got basically it got paid for, he got accepted. And the Tuskegee Institute was founded by Booker T. Booker T. Washington had a hand in that. And it really was kind of focused on work. You dressed up to go to when you ate. It was very regimented and it was almost a bit of a technical school.
I think some of it for Booker T, if I'm remembering this correctly, was like they were always told that they couldn't be this. It's like
it's part of that, and it's also part of this doctrine. It was part of this compromise with white society that don't reach too high, but will let you be a part of it but segregated. But you do these jobs, and so it was kind of being like, be a credit to your race type of thing, but don't reach too high. And so, some people looking back on it now kind of see it as, somewhat problematic.
a little Uncle Thomas almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was regimented, focusing on work, had a little bit of this kind of military standardization to it. And it just didn't vibe with Robert. He was a troublemaker, right? In Pimp, he says he got a scholarship and all this stuff because of his good grades, but they had a 98 average when I graduated. His mom got him in.
Yeah, but he wants to fucking hang out and have a party. It's party time.
Right, and he likes the street life, right? His mom was saying, like, if you like hanging around these criminals so much, be a criminal lawyer, get a license to do it. I mean, and later in life, he's like, could you imagine the wisdom of a woman thinking that? Like, I should have, I could have. So the first thing in like 6 months, or the first 90 days, he de-virginizes like 6 girls in town.
That was part of the Institute.
Yeah, it was the curriculum. No, he just was mad horn dog. He says that he got into bootlegging and that's why he got expelled. It's more likely
probably the fucking.
Yeah.
What year would this be now?
So this is 30 something.
Okay. Yeah. Right in the thick of that.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see. He was probably 15. But yeah. This is
Bootlegging was just also though so hard to avoid.
He may have done it.
Yeah.
But it's based on like records, public records available. It looks like he was asked to leave after some questionable sexual interactions with young girls.
Yeah, the fucking the wrong person.
Yeah.
That's the dean's daughter.
So again, his mother after he got expelled, his mother again encouraged him, like, do something with your life. You're too talented. If you like hanging around criminals and bad, like, be a fixer kind of thing,
Interesting. Man.
But seeing the pimps that were bringing the women into his mother's salon, and he was just way more attracted to that lifestyle. Especially that model of money and control over women that was just way more attractive and also very concrete and exemplified in his face. The lawyer thing is abstract. He's never seen it. It's a pipe dream. He sees the women coming in. He sees the pimps with their cars and their suits and
But
their
he also
hair.
sees his own mother led by a pimp.
Exactly. And
away from the upstanding male figure that you admire.
yeah, why would I want to be the guy that gets cucked?
Yeah.
I've seen you leave
yes.
Henry.
Yeah.
Why would I want to be that?
I want to be with...
I want to be the guy that does the...
I want to be the guy that gets my mom to stick around.
And I never want to be in the position where someone does that to me.
Exactly.
I want to always...
Get them before they get you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's wild, man.
He turned his first trick at 17, meaning that he got a girl to do it, not himself. He was dating this girl. She was 15. Her name was June. And he basically, they took her virginity and he was with her one night and he basically said, do you love me? And she said, yeah. I said, will you do anything for me? Yes, of course. Even turning a trick? Yep. And he got a room at a place and got a John to come in. She turned the trick in 5 minutes. And then the next guy to come through went upstairs, saw her, turned out was an acquaintance of her father.
Oh, Christ's sake.
Guy comes down, calls the father.
No.
She gets sent out. He gets arrested, and he goes to...
And the guy who is there to fuck?
He did not bust a nut as far as I know.
Yeah, but he didn't get... No one...
But yeah,
what's he doing?
You're not going to believe who I was about to fuck for money.
Who I definitely
It's your daughter, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I swear to God, I was in this house of ill repute.
I took a left and I meant to take a right.
Good thing I'm such a pervert that I found her.
Yeah.
I'm a good friend. Anyways,
I was
can I
like-
get my money back?
Yeah, that's like all those good Samaritans looking for the child porn guys.
Yeah.
At least one of the good ones is going down these sewers.
Yeah.
I'm just doing research.
Yeah.
This isn't my apartment.
This is not my beautiful wife.
How did I get here? So
There is water at the bottom of the ocean.
You said it.
Thank you.
he goes to Wisconsin Green Bay Reformatory. 22-foot concrete walls on 4 sides.
Pure cheese.
I don't know what.
Oh, because it's Wisconsin, not because
Cheddar is better.
fine Roquefort,
Maybe Gorgonzola.
Or schmegma, if that's more of your type.
a sharp schmegma.
Yeah, I want extra mild, please.
The building was built it truly was built to be a reformatory, as opposed to like the Panopticon style of prison where
The punishment.
exactly.
So
it doesn't mean that it became that.
No, but the Green Bay thing, or Wisconsin in general, was a little bit more progressive.
Right.
Do you mind giving a brief, just like a really quick breakdown of the difference there?
Yes. So the Panopticon, I think it was Jeremy Bentham. His idea was to have, you've got the guard tower basically in the center of the prison, and the guards in the middle, and it's surrounded by all the cells, and the cells can only basically see into the center of the prison and not up or down. It's very isolating, but from the center you can see everybody. So pan meaning everything, opticon meaning visual sight.
Yeah.
So
You can't see everything, but we all see you.
exactly. It's the eye in the sky type of thing. But this was built differently. It was also kind of built nicely.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was 2 massive cell blocks made of granite spread out nearly over 200 feet in each direction. The entrance is Romanesque architecture, 4 stories tall, made of solid granite. Arched Gothic windows adorning the front. Pair of eagles perched ominously over the front door. And as he came in, as Robert came in on the bus, he said, when those high slate gray walls loomed grimly before us, it was as if a giant fist had slugged the breath from us all. The van went through these 3 gates, manned by rock-faced hacks carrying scoped high-powered rifles. 3 casket gray cell houses stood like mute mourners beneath the bleak sunless sky. For the first time in my life, I felt raw, grinding fear. So like this, it's built to be a reformatory, but it's terrifying, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Marble floors imported from Italy.
Oh, you gotta if you get the chance, folks, you gotta
really?
import your marble floors from Italy.
The columns are made of marble, and they stretch floor to ceiling 20 feet high. The rotunda, massive open rectangle, 70 feet by 70 feet. Poured concrete staircases, ornate spindles. Like it must have been like something out of Rome or something. It's just
but
some of it was.
It's a fascinating idea to be like, you've never seen anything like this, and also, do you understand that you could see things like this in your life,
right?
In the reformatory aspect, where you
murals, beautiful paintings done by prisoners, dramatic landscapes of Mount McKinley, Mount of the Holy Cross, the Wisconsin Dells. He said,
I'm still not saying that prison was okay, folks. I'm just saying, as far as the approaches to it, there are ways that are better than others.
Yeah, there was a movement in various things in mental institutions of different types of layouts that give people, you can see the wilderness. There's rolling hills without a fence.
And we got into that in the liberal approach of the warden in the Panzram episode too.
Yeah, and his life kind of straddles the line between these two or three different modalities of incarceration.
And then I'm guessing the one where he ended up in eventually is as destructive as it can be.
He says that he learned that the classical architecture and beautiful artwork hid a darker reality within the so-called reformatory. This was part of the shiny, clean skin of the apple. The inside was rotting.
This is what they show people.
Right.
What would they have to complain about?
What you don't see is when all the guests leave, what they do to people inside.
Right. Most of the guards were white, all racist.
In Wisconsin?
Yeah.
With that cheese?
He hung out there with the so-called Mac men, who were sent down from overcrowded state prison to finish out the rest of their terms. So these Mac men were all street hustlers and pimps and players and shit like that. And he would follow them around because he's 17. He's following them around, just like listening to their rap sessions, their terminology, trying to absorb as much as he can.
Yeah.
Because he still is into that lifestyle. This is school for him, basically. This is an internship.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you see that this is your future, but you're still trying to learn the ways from them. But he also he read a lot. He read Aristotle. He really liked the Picture of Dorian Gray. Yeah. Which is because he was very into his looks and presentation. Yeah. All the way through his pimping career and even into his old age. Trilby, which introduced the character of Svengali, which he was obsessed with, which is, the master of hypnosis who would, cajole and trick women into becoming his sex slave. And also read a lot of romantic poetry, Keats and Percy Shelley. So he did try, he gave it, the old college try during his time there. The food had worms in it. It was really a nightmare. Throwing up, bed bugs.
But you have to imagine the educational, the quote unquote educational culture that he was taking in would be something that he would be conscious of when he got out.
Absolutely.
And use.
I'm not wasting my time here.
Also, it's a place to belong in prison.
And it was there were cliques, and he just knew where to go.
And you do need some kind of, you don't necessarily need that exact protection, but those guys are instinctively going to protect you if they think you're into what we're into.
And if they see themselves in you.
Yeah.
And don't make these mistakes.
He had a cellmate, Oscar. Oscar was beat bloody by a mute warden.
A mute warden?
Yeah.
Oh, like a mutie? Like he had...
Yeah, he had no, he was mute. He did not speak.
And he was the warden?
A guard.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Sorry. Not the warden, but a mute guard. And then when he spent time,
the mute warden. We just kind of intuit what he wants us to do. Sometimes he comes down and beats the prisoners.
Am I in trouble?
When he does meet the warden,
he's gonna beat me.
He does meet the warden, and when he first gets there, and it's just the mad, most racist shit. He's talking to him you're fucking showing up here, you dirty,
really helpful. That's
when Oscar comes back from his beating after he gets better, a couple weeks later. He sees him for the first time, and he's calling his name. His back's to him, and he doesn't respond, doesn't turn around. And then he calls him again, and then he turns around, and he doesn't respond. He just scoops shit out of his pants and starts finger painting shit on the wall.
Holy shit.
And then just stares at it like he fucking painted the Sistine Chapel.
Huh.
He gets out a little bit early for good behavior, being more or less like well adjusted. Goes back to Milwaukee. His PO gives him an IQ test. In Pimp, he says it was a 175 IQ and it blew his PO's mind. But in the real autobiography, his IQ was closer to 109, which is slightly above average. But IQ tests are biased anyway.
The PO also was probably racist, and it still blew his mind.
Yeah, 109.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as part of his parole, he has to have a job, right? So he's like 19 now, right? And he gets a job as a delivery boy for the local drugstore. He's living with his mom. Mom's still doing the beauty shop thing, and he goes down to his mom's shop. And one day, his mom introduces him to a girl that's at her parlor who's getting her eyebrows arched. And this woman's name is Pepper Ibbets. And
Pepper Ibbets, that's a good name.
yeah, and they exchange pleasantries or whatever. Oh, I've heard so much about you. You're such a nice boy, whatever. She gets your eyebrows done or whatever, and then she
looks like forever intrigued.
she gets them tucked up.
I don't know if it was the eyebrows or what, but she looked into me.
She looked really into hitting the corners. Maybe it was the eyebrow.
Everything I said, she was fascinated
She
about.
walks out. She gets into her convertible Cadillac.
Oh.
And as she pulls off, they lock eyes. And he's just like, oh, yeah, that was
Drives
the
straight
invite.
to a pedestrian.
A couple days later, she drives off in the Cadillac looking good,
Yeah,
and she's
eyebrows?
driving a convertible Cadillac in the 30s as a single woman, right?
And eyebrows.
He asks around about her and finds out that she was 25.
Oh, God.
Ex-prostitute who worked at the swinginest clubs on the Eastern Seaboard.
Oh.
And that she did so well for herself that she was able to save up, and then she also she double-crossed her pimp into a 5-year prison bit.
Whoa.
So then she came to Milwaukee to start over.
Oh, shit.
And
Wonder if she was ever at the Boom Boom Room.
Ray's Boom Boom Room.
It's the most happening spot in all Manhattan.
That's right.
It's party time every night.
So a couple days later, he gets a delivery order that he has to fill. And it's like a nicer part of the black neighborhood of town. Shows up with the fucking Tums or whatever it is. Whoever's got this got a shit.
Tic Tacs and Tums.
Door opens and it's Pepper, and she's wearing only a pair of white lace step-ins.
What?
And he says that, quote, "My erection was hard and instant."
Oh. No, that's hot.
That's how you pitch a tent.
He said it was a fabulous pad, and her old man wouldn't be back for a week.
A week.
So I'm going to read to you kind of the some stuff here. I wasn't in her league, but one of my greatest assets has that I've always had an open mind. That freak bitch cajoled and persuaded me to do everything in the sexual book, and a number of things not even listed. What a thrill for a dog like her to turn out a tender fool like me. She was a hell of a teacher, all right, and what a performer. If Pepper had lived in the old biblical city of Sodom, the citizens would have stoned her to death. She nibbled and sucked hundreds of tingling bruises on every square inch of my body. Fair exchange, as the old saw goes, is never robbery. It took me a week to get the stench of her piss out of my hair.
Nowadays they got a shampoo for that.
She sure had been pimped hard on the East Coast. She hated men, and she was taking her revenge on me.
Wow.
She taught him to snort cocaine, and then almost every time when he would go over her place, they'd be doing cocaine.
Chop it up.
Yeah. You learn quick.
We would snort it through alabaster horns, and in the mirrored bedroom, we made circus love until our nerve ends shrieked.
Oh, my God.
Pepper and that pure cocaine would have made a freak out of a priest. She put me on the fast track.
We snorted the cocaine out of ivory tusks.
It wasn't decadent, but it was fun.
They snorted
cool.
alabaster horns.
Yeah. It's insane.
It sounds fun.
This is what
great.
this is what the yaks snort from.
So he he talks about wanting to be a pimp, but right away he gets fucking played. This is called getting Gorgied. And getting Gorgied is Gorgied when you give up your dick for free. Rule number 1 in the pimp playbook is do not give it up for free.
Not even your dick.
Especially your dick.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Damn.
Because
I don't know anything about the pimp game.
You don't. You got to read the book, which is unwritten. It's an unwritten book.
I think it's kind of written.
At least
there is an
written.
There's an unwritten book.
It's like the those like rules in baseball that aren't in the rule book.
It's just the IRA training manual.
Yeah. Don't stare at your home run. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
So
don't stare at your bomb.
He goes to one of the guys that hangs out at these clubs who's what they call a chili pimp, and a chili pimp is a pimp or poor excuse for one who's maybe got like one girl or had a girl at one point, kind of like a fucking.
She comes around sometimes.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So
she'll fuck you though
if she shows up.
He broke the cardinal rule and he meets this guy. He goes to Weeping Shorty, who's this chilling pimp. So a lot of the names are changed.
Weeping Shorty.
Okay, so the names are changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
He weeps,
but as he's
you
like,
don't want to give him anything.
He's asking for advice to Weeping Shorty.
And through tears, he says, "What?"
Well, yeah, he's actually what they call a gorilla pimp. So heavy-handed, a lot of beating, not a lot of the mental games that you want to play as a good pimp.
Yeah, he's just a dumb parent.
Yeah, and
as far as pimping is concerned, he's a dumb parent.
And he's telling Iceberg or he's telling Robert to forget her. You need to go get a fresh bitch. She's been played. She's been pimped out. She just pimped you. You already fucked her for free. You're not going to get $1 at her. You're not going to dime at her now. Go find a fresh one that you can manipulate and start over with.
Right.
And during the course of this conversation, because they're in his car, they're in Weaving's car, it starts raining. And his girls start coming back to the car, and they're soaking wet, and they're like, "Daddy, open the door. My feet are soaked. Nothing's happened out here tonight. We want to come home." And oh God, without him hesitating, he says, "You bullshit bitch, make something happen. You're a whore. You're supposed to be hot. You dumb chicken-hearted bitch. What do you think I got this ass pocket full of full scratch for? Now get out there and work. Don't worry about the rain. Walk between the raindrops."
Ooh.
Walk between the raindrops.
That sounds like a Ray Orbison song.
So then they go back out. He gives them more lessons. Some really incredible stuff that I'll put maybe on the Patreon. Just sick mind game shit. But he doesn't take the advice. Really, he goes back and being a gorilla pimp, the one thing he says to her is like, "Well, you should basically just gotta demand the money, and if she doesn't give it to you, beat her ass." So he goes back and he tries to do that. He's like, "Yo, I need some scratch to go get a new suit. Give me $100 or whatever, $20." And she's like, "No fucking way, no." And he tries to whoop her, and then she just fucking goes off on him, and they just start fighting hardcore. And
now, who is this girl?
This is Pepper.
Okay,
Pepper Ibbets, who pissed in his hair.
She's not putting up with
piss in his hair.
And then as they're fighting, then they just start fucking and make more circus love.
Wow.
Pepper eventually he gets conned by Pepper and another guy named Delansky. Delansky and Weeping, they give the goods to Robert that all you got to do she's gonna have $500 from her man, her husband, at the house. So you go there, you have sex with her, and then you take that money, and then you'll meet me on the street and all this shit.
Oh yeah, there's always a later meetup point.
Yeah, and
it's
so,
such fucking bullshit.
So he does, and then he's out on the street. He gets stopped by the cops. He's got this money, and then a key is planted on him to her place, and they fucking played him, and he gets 2 years in state prison for grand theft.
Whoa.
So he was walking down that alleyway with his dick out.
Yeah, and he knew what was. the first thing he heard about her was she was an ex-prostitute who crossed her pimp for a 5-year prison bit.
Yeah.
And it happened again.
And now Delansky is living the high life.
That's right. Probably getting his hair pissed in all sorts of shit.
He's probably getting scammed next.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So,
Good for her.
he goes to
Say more power to her.
he goes to Waupun State Prison. And that place is full of like any real prison, full of cliques, right?
Did you say what happens, state prison?
Waupun? It's Waupun.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Waupun.
Waupun.
Pun.
Yeah. And he says the food was better.
The marble wasn't as good.
The food was better. There were industries there. You could learn a trade.
Yeah. No Roman columns though.
No marble
fountains.
floor. He said that it was tough, but in a different way than the reformatory. The cons were older, a lot of more murderers serving life sentences.
Oh, well, he's not a juvenile anymore.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I did what I did. It was justified.
God will sort me out.
He could go into the yard during recreation hours, learn other trades and skills, but the real trades and skills he was looking to learn were with these cliques. So
Right.
There were heist and con men that would get together and still try and con. They would come up with new robberies for when they got out.
Right. Well,
He said the fruits and the punks would hang out together. He calls them fruits and punks.
Real quickly, this is a big criticism of when they had political prisoners in Northern Ireland. They said, "Oh well, when they're not treated like prisoners, then those just become terrorist training camps." And I'm like, every prison is a training camp for what? If you're into murdering, if you're into raping, if you're into bank robbing,
if you're into
every
anything.
prison is a training camp for whatever you're into. Like it's such a facile, stupid fucking argument against treating people like political prisoners because every prison is that.
Give them
as evidenced by what you're saying.
Give them something to do so that they.
How about this? Lock them with another bank robber in a room for 23 hours a day.
What do you think they're going to talk about?
Yeah.
What do they know? No, I mean, we'll give them something to do.
Perfecting crime.
Give them something to do, like learn something and
Or keep them away from other people that are into fucked up shit.
Well, you can't. If you put them in solitary, then you fucking destroy the man. But
You make them the headmaster of a school, and that's what you do.
that's there you go. Everybody is their own headmaster of their own school.
That's it.
Yeah,
Just like in Mormonism.
that's why I'm one.
Yeah. You rule your own planet in Mormonism.
Oh yeah.
Same thing in the
Yeah.
in my criminal thing.
In my criminal thing.
It's called more men.
More men. We need more men. I'm sorry, we simply need more men.
There's not enough.
Or whatever, non-binary. I don't care.
It's okay. It's all fluid. To
Gender's
me.
fake.
Yeah.
Gender's fake.
Whatever.
So
We're all liquid.
he fluid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He still had this insatiable desire to be a pimp, so he starts hanging out with the guys who were
At
pimps.
prison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he does learn a trade. He does learn a skill.
Yeah.
But not the ones that they want him to.
It's not woodworking, but it'll do.
He thought he was a member of a clique that thought nothing about nothing else other than whores and pimping.
Sounds very
He worked in the
exhausting.
laundry, so he got to keep his clothes like ironed and fresh and shit.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Coming
sharp.
anything over there.
He this is where he kind of met a guy who would kind of teach him some like the psychological tricks to survival. And he said that always remember, whether you're a sucker or a hustler in the world out there, you've got that vital edge that you can ironclad your feelings. I picture the human mind as a movie screen. If you're a dopey sucker, you'll just sit and watch all kinds of mind-wrecking damn fool movies on that screen. Son, there is no reason except a stupid one for anybody to project on that screen anything that will worry him or dull that vital edge. After all, we are the bosses of that whole theater and show in our minds. We even write the script. So always write positive, dynamic scripts and show only the best movies for you on that screen, whether you are a pimp or a priest.
Now, is that a story about lying, or is that a story about positivity?
It's about controlling your outlook of the world.
It's a little bit of both. Sometimes positivity is lying to yourself.
It's
Okay.
about controlling, in
Not having negative narratives.
And not being susceptible to other people's narratives, and not showing what narrative that you are telling or believing. And so it's not giving up. You have to have iron. Your feelings need to be a wall. Like you.
Yes.
So remember in Training Day, he talks about smiles and cries.
Or fucking Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
When they do all the shit to fucking manipulate their feelings, and they come out of the rooms.
Oh, he's like, that's not talking
about.
about.
And the dude is like, just forget that shit.
And it's.
Don't let them have don't let them declare what the narrative is.
And also don't let them see that it affects you, because it's too much information. You know, your smiles and cries in Training Day is perfect because it's all about controlling your smiles and your cries. Don't let them know that you have a wife and kids, because they know they can use that against you. Wear the mask. Why?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid, to protect the ones you care about.
Yeah.
He said that his rundown of screen theory saved my sanity many years later. He was a twisted wise man, and one day when he wasn't looking, a movie flashed on the screen, and the title was Death for an Old Con, because he died in his sleep in prison.
Wow.
That's poetic. That's nice.
He says, I sure miss that convict philosopher. The wisdom he taught me took me successfully through my bit, and he got 3 months good time, and got out a little bit early.
So you did all that in 3 months?
No, he got out 3 months of extra.
Gotcha. Sorry. Yeah.
So he goes back. He goes back to Milwaukee, and dude, straight up back into the pimp game. Like,
this is what, late 30s now? He's early 20s.
Yeah, he's in his very early 20s, probably 21, and the first thing he thinks of when he gets his fucking boots on free soil is, I gotta get a stable. I gotta find a whore.
Gotta fuck. Well, you just gotta.
He's living with his mom, right?
Still.
Yeah, he doesn't have.
I guess, yeah. Where else would you go?
How old is he now?
Around 21.
Okay.
He'd be plagued by these dreams, and this is, we were talking about the Sopranos and their dream sequences and stuff.
Goose.
He says they were cruel plays. They were fantastic. I would see myself gigantic and powerful like God Almighty. My clothes would glow, my underwear would be rainbow-hued silk petting my skin, my suits were spun gold shot through with precious stones, my shoes would be dazzling silver, the toes were sharp as daggers, beautiful whores with piteous eyes groveled at my feet. Through the dream mist, I would see huge shaped stakes. The whores' painted faces would be wild in fear. They would wail and beg me not to murder them on those sharp steel stakes.
Jesus.
I would laugh madly. Springs of scarlet would spurt from their behinds as I joyfully booted them crotch first onto them sharp spikes. They would flop around like dying chickens. They would finally fall away in a welter of blood into two red halves. And he would wake and his heart would be racing. And he'd be trembling and he'd be in sweats. But then he would have then he would continue having these dreams. I would be very tiny. A gargantuan Christ in a sea of light would be towering above me. In his anger, his eyes would be blazing blue suns. His silky platinum hair would stand on end in his rage. A shaft of purest white light would shoot from the tip of his index finger. He would point toward a woman. Her back would be turned to me. He would hand me a barbed leather whip. And like a crash of summer thunder, he would command, punish this evil woman, destroy the evil inside her. The Lord so directs thee. And I would eagerly grab the heavy whip in both hands, and I would bring it down with all my force on the woman's back. She would just stand there, and the scarlet would drain down from her slashed back. She would be standing to her knees in a river of blood. And she would turn her brown, agonized face toward me, and it would be Mama.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I knew it. Yeah. I knew that the whole fucking time. That is, yeah.
I would be shaking and screaming in my sweat. It was horrible. I could never cut off the dream until its end. It had to run its fearful course. Those dreams would continue until his mother died.
Damn.
Whole life.
Until she died.
Yeah.
So at that point, he's probably missing him.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I was having those terrible dreams again.
At least I could see her again.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So he's having this pimp. He's starting to build his little pimp stable. He's trying to, right? He's still not a pimp. He's still a wannabe pimp, right? He had that one girl, and then he got, Ross.
Yeah, put away immediately.
And he didn't even pimp her. He had that. He had that one girl that turned one trick, and then he got caught by her dad's friend. But didn't get any money, and then he got pimped by Pepper.
Well, I think it's a philosophical question of if you don't get paid,
To
is it
pimp or
still
not
pimping?
to pimp? Yeah.
Officer, I don't have any money on me. I was not pimping.
So then he goes to he goes to like one of the these jazz clubs or whatever you want to call them.
Marijuana factories?
And he starts to marijuana factories. He goes to and he starts like, all right, I'm gonna put into I've learned all this shit. I've done, it's kind of this hero's journey thing. I'm gonna take the things that I've learned and I'm out in the real world. I'm gonna try it out, right? It's the training montage. And
this is the hero's journey. He's come back to the
and he
world.
might flounder.
Everything he's learned, he now is going to put into practice.
It's a log on the back, Rocky IV.
And so this girl at the bar, sends him a drink, and that's a prostitute move, right? So he's feeling her out.
Oh yeah.
And so he immediately is just like, what the hell is you with what the hell's with you sending me a drink? He goes, bitch, my name is Blood and my wire wasn't off the wall. It was real like me, bitch. You sure got a filthy, sassy job. It could get your ass ruptured. Like immediately just coming hard at her. And she's like, I ain't no bitch. I'm a motherfucking lady. And the stud ain't been pulled out of his mommy's womb that kicks my ass. And so she's like giving it right back at him. Call me Phyllis, goddammit. Be a gentleman and respect me. I'm a lady. And then he's just like, he still hasn't learned to like control his emotions yet. He's still not Iceberg. He's still trying to do that and control the movies in his mind and the movies that he's showing other people, right? So he's just like, I lost it. And you stinking black bitch, you're a fake. There is no such thing as a lady in our world. You either got to be a bitch or in drag. Now, bitch, which is it? Bitch, I'm not a gentleman. I'm a pimp. I'll kick your funky ass. You gave me first lick. Bitch, you're creaming to eat me up. I'm not a cum freak. You are. I'm a freak to scratch. Money. The blast had moved her. Those joint rundowns sure worked. He said it worked on her. He called the shots, and
Meaning that she was paying him.
She kind of backed off because his game was tight.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And it was hard.
She saw that she wasn't in power.
Right.
Yeah,
she bluffed, and it's there's a dance there.
Yeah.
And it's
a poker game.
There's a language, right?
Yeah.
He said then I went to the bathroom and told her to wait. He said, bitch, I'm splitting. When I come out of that crapper, I know your pussy is jumping for me. I know you want me for your man. Some lucky bitch is going to steal me from you. You better toss that bullshit out of your mind. Get it straight, bitch, and tell me like it is on the way out. You had your chance. After tonight, you don't have any. Just like the most aggressive, like,
In or out.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take a shit when I come out. And so he goes in there and like he's trying to make it look like he has more money. He takes like a wad of toilet paper and wraps some money around it so it looks like he has a fat stack. Like he's still
classic
faking it, right?
Right.
And
He probably takes some pretty dope shit too.
Yeah. Hey, this
Oh,
money
yeah,
smells
yeah.
like shit.
and so Phyllis kind of ends up being his first prostitute that he's pimping out.
Right. He came back.
Phyllis.
He's used everything he's learned, and now he is.
It seems like he has her, right? And she's like, oh man, you're a cold-blooded sweet motherfucker. I go for you. Let's go back to my pad and rap. And they go back to her place, and then she's like, she's trying to still play the game of getting him to fuck without paying. Like, it's a who's going to break first scenario. And he has learned the hard way that he's not going to give it up before he gets the money from her. And then he beats the shit out of her. And he rips part of his clothes up and ties her to the bed. And he says that he puts her through that nerve-shredding routine Pepper taught him. And so now he's like ravaging her sexually. And she's in, like, she breaks from the beating and like relents. And because everybody here is fucked up, right? He's in, everyone's fucked up and they're kind of into it. Or this is the routine.
Sure.
This is what happens.
Sure, or it's a safety mechanism.
This is par for the course, which is like the beating happens and then the love making, sex happens, and then like I give you a bath.
Yeah.
You fall into the rhythms,
Exactly. She's already done it before. She just didn't have
Now
a pimp
I'll
at
wash
the
the
time.
piss out of your head.
That's right.
It'll take 5 days.
And she blacked out 4 times during the freak sex.
She did?
Yeah. Because she's tied to the bedpost and he's just like going to town on her.
Jesus fuck.
He takes her car. Her Ford is now his car.
He scandalized the shit out of Matt. Go ahead. Yeah,
The car's his now. And
it's a Fiesta.
No.
No, the fiesta's over, John. This isn't party time.
It's not a Fiesta.
It's not Johnny Fiesta.
It's a Ford what?
He just like he tells himself like just remember what they told you, that act like you don't have a dick. Get that money. That's all you care about.
There's this it's the Sisyphean thing about when you're learning something, you push the rock as far up as you can go. Because the rock can always roll back.
Yeah, so
you have to see what the boundaries are. So you push the rock up and it's a thing they use. It's from everything to voice acting, apparently, to pimping.
Yeah.
It's you have to see.
find where the edge is.
Yes.
Yeah. What's because
the rock's always gonna roll back. You can always
you
go
said
back.
that was sissified.
he just keeps that money that you get from them is a psychological commitment.
Yeah.
That is the hook that you put in them. It's so counterintuitive.
Sure. Yeah.
In a way, you would think that getting the sex without the money is kind of a bigger hook, but demanding the money before is what hooks them to you.
Well, it's creating value where there is none, and it's saying that's the thing. One of the things. The first time I ever thought of it was when Seinfeld talked about it in Comedians and Girls, and he goes, "Imagine these girls going like, wait, and then I do that, and then I give you the money."
Right.
Like it's absolutely preposterous, but it's also every bit as preposterous as donating to the church.
Yeah.
Saving your soul with a 20 in the basket or whatever. It's just as ridiculous as you are buying something.
Yeah.
That's why the money gets forked over.
Right.
But you also have to.
You're buying security. You're buying a brand. I would say in the pimp world, when it comes to the church, you're buying salvation or whatever.
Yeah, and that too is a psychological game.
You're establishing yourself in a certain way.
Well, you have something to give, which inherently means you have worth.
Right.
Sure, yeah, and that game gets played out in the pimp game too, because there is also the confidence boosting aspect that the pimps will do, right? It's like you get out there and you're the one that makes that money. Like you're the star. You can run these streets.
You're the star.
You are the star. So it's it's total reverse psychology in both ways, which is you ain't shit, you give me the money, but also you are so worth that people will pay you to fuck them, and you con these motherfuckers.
And I'm just your manager,
right?
I get a percentage.
It's just like when you feel like shit, I build you up, and when you get too high, I make you feel like shit.
You also have to imagine that the refractory period is, not a lot of stuff gets done.
Exactly.
So in that moment, there's not a lot of money going.
You have to be God to these women, and if they can touch God whenever they want, you're not God.
Mm.
Oh, that's very good, Aaron. I like that. That's very good.
It's from the documentary.
I take it back.
So he moves out of his mom's house. She's fucking crying. He's like, "Oh, I got this car from a friend." They go to Chicago. He's got scratched now, so he gets new clothes. He starts hanging out in the clubs where the pimps in Chicago were hanging out, and like Chicago at this time is fucking going off, dude.
Yeah.
And it's crime ridden. And
if you mob time,
yeah, and that's just the white part.
Yeah.
In the districts where crime is, the blind eye is turned to or is actively encouraged or allowed, it's really crazy. The black mobsters were allowed to run their number games.
Yeah. Probably because they were paying up to Cicero or something.
Right.
And they didn't necessarily have to. There were just things that the mafia just kind of like, if you just do that, that's fine.
Yeah. Just don't cross the street.
Yeah.
That type of thing was a big thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It was called Policy.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. That game was called Policy because they were kind of like insurance policies, and it was let's say you're a single mother, you could put 5 cents in, and the payout even on a small win was really big.
Yeah.
And the money could go a little bit further. there's a really great breakdown in Justin Gifford's book called Street Poison about policy and how it in the same way that the mafia was looking out for people in the neighborhood for a price, policy was kind of that for a lot of the downtrodden blacks in Chicago at the time.
It is interesting though that just, I mean, as predatory as a lot of their stuff is, there is a lot of stuff in organized crime where you go like, oh, well, that's better than what the government does.
Yeah, well,
for sure.
They put some thought into this.
And that's why the government is also like, oh, well, we need to get rid of that right away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
unless they're blackmailing Hoover about being a homosexual.
Or a cross-dresser.
I mean, no, that was really the thing. He out and out denounced the idea of organized crime for the longest time because they were blackmailing him about being just a gay guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Really, really interesting breakdown.
And also, I think I just want to say here too is that there's an interesting thing with the guys that are going after they migrate from the South to Chicago, and then they're like the guys, you know, that are considered these, you know, fucking scumbags or whatever. They're just acting like what they saw white men do in the South.
Exactly.
You go out and you drink and you gamble.
And you treat black women like shit.
All of the prestigious white men were doing exactly that kind of thing. That was what you were told a free man does.
That's right.
Right.
And it was a horrible example, of course, but wouldn't you, if you were denied it for the longest time, if you saw the opportunity to do it, you'd be like, well, I got to go do
and
that.
then when you do it, you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a character later here that I'll probably talk about more on the Patreon because he's a whole person in himself. He breaks down the history of pimping after the emancipation of slaves and the indentured servitude part, you know, the Reconstruction.
Right. Probably
what happened when all of a sudden the whole dynamic changes and then like pimps start enacting some of the same strategy to manipulate black women that was being done to them before. Well, I'll talk about it on the Patreon. And it involves one of these characters coming up. But like I said, they go to Chicago. He starts hanging out with the other pimp, learning more of the game. And he's a young guy amongst all these kind of older cats who either washed up or were never really big in the first place. So they're sending him to go do, run numbers or pick up booze or whatever. And one night he's picking up. They send him to the liquor store to pick up some stuff, and he catches a glimpse out on the street. It's a cold night, but it's out in public, and he sees his pimp kicking the shit out of this woman. And they find out that it's this pimp named Poison.
It's not a good name at all.
And so we find out who this guy. He's well dressed, but he's kicking shit, and people are looking, not doing anything. And he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And then another dude tells him, "Like, you think that guy's bad? He's nothing compared to Sweet Jones." And Sweet Jones, his real name is Baby Bell. And that's the person that I'll talk about later on the Patreon.
That's his real. Why didn't he keep that name?
No. The names were changed in the story.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
The real historical person that Sweet Jones is Baby Bell.
Okay.
Baby Bell. So it's Preston telling him that's Poison, and Poison is nothing compared to Baby Bell.
Who's Preston?
It's the guy. It's another pimp who's describing that guy that you see kicking the shit out of that woman with everyone not doing anything about it.
That guy's Poison is nothing
Poison.
compared to.
If you think that's something,
Baby Bell.
Exactly. And he just tells how hard that Sweet Jones or Baby Bell pimps. They said he had a stable of a bunch of white girls, which is a no-no, or even just impossible to do. Girls of all sorts of races. So Preston is telling him about his experience with Baby Bell. Not only, Baby Bell, when he would go through town, he would carry 20 cases of luggage with him, all of his shoes and outfits. He had a Duesenberg in the 30s.
A Duesenberg? Is that like a bidet?
A Duesenberg is a extremely opulent luxury vehicle. Their term, it's a doozy. Oh, wow. That's a doozy, is from a Duesenberg.
Oh, shit.
They cost like $30,000 in the Depression.
Oh, okay.
They were for movie stars and
They can hold 20
and oligarchs. Like they were for royalty and super rich movie stars.
Right. The driver's seat had a toilet, so.
Oh yeah.
In Duesenberg.
Well, because you can't let your driver get out the driver's seat. You're not driving a Duesenberg.
No, yeah.
It's Deuce in Berg.
Yeah.
Jewish fella driver. So he, it's just everyone's playing everyone here. Baby Bell played Preston when Preston was trying to make it in the pimp game, and he
Gorgied him.
No, different. He made him think like, oh, I'm your mentor. I'll be like your uncle, man. And so he lets him. The term is called pulling coat. Hey, pull my coat means like tag me, bring me along, and show me how the game goes. And so mentor me. So Baby Bell was pulling Preston's coat. Preston's telling the story, and then he would just start like after a little while after teaching him stuff, he start like berating him and belittling him and calling him like he's green, you're a square, you ain't shit. And so like he starts doing heroin to kind of earn the good graces of Baby Bell, because the heroin.
Preston, the guy who was stringing him, who's dragging him along. No. Preston was following Baby Bell.
Right.
Okay.
And in order to kind of impress Baby Bell to prove that he's not a square, he starts shooting heroin, and
that never impresses him.
And then he gets hooked.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point.
Yeah.
So now Preston is there. I mean, Baby Bell is pimping his girls out for him.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of you while you're sick, because he's the one scoring the heroin for him.
Yeah.
So he's sick and he doesn't leave the house for days at a time, and he's
absorbed and made it a subsidiary.
He's become his own.
It's a hostile takeover.
He's pimping this guy.
He pimped him out.
Yeah.
It's just. And then,
in the white mafias, they just shoot a guy.
Yeah, this is so fucking sadistic. And so he gets him hooked on heroin. Like I said, he gets sick. He can't work. So I got to take care of your girls for you. And just that cycle keeps happening where he's the one scoring for him and just scoring him just enough to not be sick, but not enough to get high or even work. So it's now his stable. And then like one time he sends it out to score, and he drops a dime, gets the cops, and arrests him. So Preston had went to jail because Baby Bell was pimping his shit and took his stable. And so like that's the cautionary tale that Preston is telling Robert Iceberg as he sees what looks like a nightmare pimp, Poison. He goes, no. Baby Bell's the real son of a bitch. It makes this guy look like nothing. How do I know?
This guy's only beaten women.
So does Robert ever have this thing where he goes like, why were there pimps that told me the truth, and why were there pimps that steered me wrong and steered me so wrong and steered me so right? Like well,
a lot of it was him just ignoring the warning signs. A lot. He sees the glitz and glamour, but it's also opportunities are limited. He was seduced by the money and the looks and the control. I mean, he's a damaged person.
But even then, a guy telling him something that's like, here's a really bad thing that happened to me. It's not flattering.
It's not.
And then you go like, you're going.
He saw it as a challenge.
But you're going like, okay, who Robert did?
Yeah. He said that's not going to happen to me.
Sure.
And he even
said, even that guy telling him that, wouldn't he be like, is this like a sympathy grab? Like, what's going on here with Preston telling me this story?
Well, I think part of it is also like
you always identify.
This is a hard game. I mean,
motive. I think is a good thing that people should do in general. And these are guys that have had to do it,
especially when they're pimps.
All their lives.
The storytelling is part of the manipulation
for survival. But the search for motive is something that people don't do nearly enough.
Yeah.
When anybody comes at you with anything and they be like, "Hey, did you hear what somebody said?" Blah blah blah. You're like, "Okay, why would you want to tell me that?"
Yeah, why did you?
Right.
What's the point of this? Well, some people just like to talk.
Yeah, you have to imagine for some people that's the story. It's just
but it's just
also it may, for Preston, it's not like Preston's doing therapy. He can fucking unload on this kid.
But the guys that are so in the game too, a lot of times they get burned and then they learn from it,
right?
And then they create a more nefarious scam.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So you would assume that Preston would be like, all right, well, he got this over on me, but now I'm doing this kind of thing. And then there's sometimes just old guys that are like, well, I don't want to see you have hard times.
Yeah, and it's just like it's also like telling like old stories on the road or old sure. It's what else are they going to talk about?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the Cubs win.
Yeah, there's just not a lot to talk about. He's as he's telling him the story, you kind of like see, he says, when he finally gave me, he has no choice but to have Baby Bell cook him up the heroin in the spoon and shoot him up. And like, so like there's that like submission that is demanded by the situation and by Baby, that it's like, see how you are without me, see how I save you.
Yeah. That
kind of, so there's ways to pimp people without ever having sex with them. And he finally gets right from the heroin, and Baby's standing there with him, and he tells him like, I know you've stolen my stable, I know I've been a sucker, but I need you to give me $1,000. Like, I got to kick this habit that you conned me into, and I'm not going to give you any headaches. Just give me $1,000. And he says that Baby just stood there like a black Buddha, and I thought he was going to put his foot in my ass like one of his whores, and he just grinned, and he pulled my robe from the floor and put it around my shoulders. And Baby said, sweetheart, I instill no whores from you. Those whores would have blew to the wind if it wasn't for me. You got me. I'm just like your whore. Wouldn't you rather I had them whores than some bastard you couldn't cop a favor from? Of course I'm going to give you the grand. I'm even going to give you back that buck-toothed yellow whore you had. I want you to straighten up. Sweetheart, I love you.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
My God.
It's just like, so sick. I'm your whore. Can't you see?
Don't you know?
I'm going to give you the money. I took, all this
what
stuff.
I did to you? No, you did that to me.
Yeah. Thanks. Just the back and forth of guilt and responsibility. And
today before noon, I'll send you a quarter piece. You got no reason to sweat. Baby's in your corner. He tucked me into the chin and walked out. The runner came with $200, around 11 or $250, the quarter piece. And I was starting to believe that Baby Bell was only, kind of half a piece of shit. At 12, 2 cops broke the door down. I was draped in my PJs. They found the heroin. They booked me for possession. He went to jail.
God damn.
He goes, I left my hair, my teeth, and good looks in the joint.
Oh, God.
A con ran a shiv into my plumbing. That's why I limp and pee out of this tube in my side.
Oh, fucking.
I haven't had a horse since.
Damn.
And so that's when he's like, you still want to have a crack at Baby? Look at me. Do you still want to have a crack at this guy?
Well, also, look at me. If you're gonna shoot for, don't miss.
And that's what he saw. I was like, I'm not a chump like you. I'm special.
Right.
Like,
I'm not going to do heroin.
Right. I'm not going to get hooked on heroin. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get pimped. I am the pimp.
Oh.
But thank you, right?
Let's take another little break.
All right.
Let's go right back. And we're back.
Yeah.
Man.
Should I just really interject a little bit of weird, funny shit real quick? Just change the mood and get back to the story?
Well, I just want to say I just want to repeat what John just said during the break is that the setup of the supervillain shit, I think, is... Yeah,
you're seeing this person who is ignoring all of the... I mean... In one way, it's inspiring. Like, he's not letting the world telling him no,
right,
stop him. But you just see like all these warning signs that you are fucking ignoring, dude. Everyone is telling you that this does not end well, but he wants it so bad.
But he's also seeing the big bad mean pimp exemplified by
Baby Bell.
By Baby Bell from Preston. And
I'm not going to be Preston. I'm going to be Baby.
But that's the thing too that I was saying is it leads you to a Game of Thrones type thing where you go like, are you going to be more savage than Baby? Are you going to?
You're talking about Daenerys Targaryen? Yeah.
Are you going to out savage Baby? Are you going to do something totally different and less savage that outmaneuvers him still? How are you going to become the king?
So what's this interjection?
Are you going to break the wheel? Okay.
You like my hypothesizing?
Yeah, that's real good, man.
And so you like my hypotheses.
So this is just this was in the foreword, and this is kind of just a quick jump forward to give you a little bit of hope for just some of the wild antics that will eventually take place. Dawn was breaking as the big hog scooted through the streets. Car. My 5 whores were chattering like drunk magpies. I smelled the stink that only a street whore has after a long, busy night. The inside of my nose was raw. It happens when you're a pig for snorting cocaine. My nose was on fire, and the stink of those whores and the gangster they were smoking seemed like invisible knives scraping to the root of my brain. Gangster is weed. So they smelled like weed and ass.
Gotcha.
I was in an evil, dangerous mood despite that pile of scratch crammed into the glove compartment. God damn it, has one of you bitches shit on herself or something? I bellowed as I flipped the long window towards me. For a long moment, there was silence. Then Rachel, my bottom whore, cracked in a pleasing, ass-kissing voice. Daddy, baby, that ain't no shit you smell. We've been turning all night, and ain't no bathrooms in those tricks cars we've been flipping out of. Daddy, we sure been humping for you, and what you smell is our nasty whore asses. I grinned wildly, inside, of course. The best pimps keep a steel lid on their emotions, and I was one of the iciest. The whores went into fits of giggles at Rachel's shaky witticism. A pimp is happy when his whores giggle. He knows they are still asleep.
Oh, God.
So that demeanor.
Matt's leaving the show.
I gotta. So here's the thing: is that at this point he's still not Iceberg, right? And Iceberg was never his real. Iceberg is a nom de plume to a degree. He used to go as Blood. He would go as other names, but his name back in the day, in his true pimp life, was Kavanaugh Slim.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, but he did.
Good Irish name.
Yeah. He was known for his icy demeanor that he crafted, because he says that I always had a sucker streak in me. I didn't truly hate.
I had to have the poker face.
I had to, because he says a lot of the other pimps out there naturally had it because like their moms threw them in a trash can when they were born. My mom was not like, my mom fucked up a little bit that I held resentment to, but like I really didn't hate my mom. I still talk to her.
Still dedicates a book to her.
What's that? He dedicates the book to her. When you see the stuff later is really incredible with her. Like he doesn't truly hate his mom or women. I mean, he does, but it's hard for him to do some of the things like be stone cold icy he has to psych himself up, as you'll see, to do a lot of this. He wasn't a natural brutal pimp. He was a natural.
But when he did it, he had to look unfeeling.
Right. So he, after he
Also doesn't make it any better.
No, not at all. It's just an idiosyncrasy of the character to show you the journey. That's all. It doesn't make him any better than any of the other guys, and he'll tell you that. What I'm saying is that, Preston tells him this story about what it's like to be a pimp and to be pimped, and it doesn't end pretty. You end up with a limp and peeing out of a tube in your ass or whatever. But he's, I'm not going to be that. I'm not like you. I'm not a heroin junkie. I'm not a pussy. I don't have white girls in my stable, all that shit. I've got to find out the secrets of pimping. I don't want to be a half-ass gigolo lover like the white pimps. I really want to control the whole whore. I want to be the boss of her life, even her thoughts. I got to con them that Lincoln never freed the slaves, is what he said.
Oh my God.
He spent, like, his education was in jail with all these fucking maniacs, where he got immersed in it more than anybody ever could, But
he's, this is what it takes to be.
That was his League of Shadows, right? That was his in training by the masters.
Let's say, Barry Bonds is one of the greatest baseball players ever. And he's like, Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, people like these guys. I'll take steroids,
and you'll see.
And I'll show you what a fucking real baseball player does on steroids. Yeah. And then he becomes just this ungodly space alien.
I'm going to resurrect Babe Ruth and give him steroids.
So, he has a rough night at a bar one night. His main bottom girl, Phyllis, is she's back at the hotel, or she's out working, and he has a fucked up night that we could talk about on Patreon. He's kind of in a bad mood. And he gets home, and the first thing she says to him is like, where have you been, daddy? Do you love me as much as I love you? Do you miss me? All this shit. And he knows that he can't accept even that kind of questioning. Where have you been? Unacceptable. He doesn't want to do anything about it, but he's had a bad night, and he says that a heart-aching montage tornadoed through my skull. I gritted my teeth. I felt my fingernails ice picking into my palms. Her love con had resurrected sad old scenes. Because that's her also kind of conning him a little bit. It's like, oh, I love you, daddy. Where you, that kind of thing.
Right.
Everyone's playing each other. And in his mind's eye, in his movie screen, I saw Henry on his knees, blubbering to my mother about his love for her. I saw his pitiful eyes begging Mama not to break his heart. I saw Mama kicking herself free of his clutching arms. I saw that terrible look of scorn and triumph on Mama's face. I thought about the worms that had devoured his flesh in his lonely grave.
Ooh, that's good.
And then he beat the shit out of her.
Oh, it's not good.
Like he psyched himself up or was triggered by this about a woman conning a man for love.
And he wasn't necessarily... he was beating an idea of himself almost.
Certainly. I'm not that guy. You won't do that to me and I'll show you. And, it's pretty brutal in the book and I'm not going to describe it, but, then, he puts her face in some ice water to help her out after, and then he just,
oh,
then they have sex.
Oh my God.
But it's the abuse. I mean, it's that's
it's
there's the rhythm of the abuse, the rhythm of the control, of the abuse,
or the forced situation.
Yeah, it's definitely forced, but it's the agreed upon routine. Basically, this is what this is.
Yeah, the whole thing is really, really fucked up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's agreed, but it's not agreed, but. That the routine is there's no.
Yeah.
I don't need to break this down.
At that point, it's having sex with me is probably better than beating the fucking shit out of me because you're mad about your stepdad.
Yeah. Right. And it's also his way of psyching himself up to be the pimp he thinks he should be. Mm-hmm. Because it is kind of harder for him to be that, he says, than some of the other guys, but he still does it, so it's fucking a nightmare and it's unacceptable. But you kind of just get a glimpse into it, how he does it and why he does it.
Yeah, none of this is an explainer of making it okay.
No, it's just
it's an understanding of how point A gets to point B gets to point C.
Yes, absolutely. This is not an endorsement.
No.
And then he just kind of, there's just more in this part of his life where he just kind of gets better at the manipulation and the mind games. And he just kind of just replays the stuff in his head. He kind of has this like total recall of all the lessons that he was taught. And, he talks about the pimps in the joint telling him that there's nothing more important than what makes a new bitch tick and why. Scrape her brain, find out who the first joker was that laid her, or was it her father or who. Make her tell you her life story from the get, like straight up.
So you know the motivation.
Exactly. If
the
she
trauma and how to manipulate it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Things, what to push, what to.
It's.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like it sounds like a CIA mind control experiment.
Without a doubt.
It's like instead of giving people acid, you beat the shit out of them until you can.
Now tell me everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then. It's also like the first thing when you go see a therapist or something is start from the beginning.
Yeah. So why are you here?
Exactly.
I'm not going to say anything. You talk.
So then he sees Sweet Jones out again, or Baby Bell. He sees Baby Bell out on the street again, driving the Duesenberg, being a mad pimp. And he follows him to this club called The Roost, and he's got his stable there, all sorts of like multiracial women, which is so like unheard of at the time. It's usually just black pimps and black women, but he's got all sorts.
Samoan.
He has a pet ocelot at the bar. Yeah, it's like a cat thing.
Yeah. Big ass claws.
Yeah.
Oscillating.
Yes. And then
he also got a Lazy Susan.
He shows up and he kind of like makes himself known to the crowd there, like kind of like and he calls him over. And at this point, he's still not Icy Iceberg. He's still like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, smooth, young, Slim.
Robert.
He's still Robert.
He's blood. And he like tells him like, you fucking grinning motherfucker. What are you grinning at? I'm going to push your face through this table and my cat eat you. Like, quit grinning at me like that. Are you a bitch? Or do you want me to pimp you out? I will fuck you here in the street. Like that kind of shit.
I'm not sure yet.
But it's the parallels with something like, you know, almost Goodfella type thing. Like, this is the guy who runs the shit. I'm just, you know, up and coming so I can be kind of spunky and fucking dickhead.
And even then, it's like, that's what he's trying to do. And Baby's like, I'm not playing that shit. Like, come back when you fucking stop smiling. And so then he meets this guy, Glass Top. And Glass Top's another kind of lower level pimp who's kind of Baby adjacent. Glass Top sells a lot of drugs, and he takes him.
I got a soft head.
I got a glass top car.
It's hard, but it's fragile. So he tries to ingratiate himself with Glass Top because he knows Sweet or Baby Bill, and this is his kind of end. So he's like, yo, man, pull my coat. So like everyone's playing everyone all the way up to the top. And they go to Glass's spot. He's got a fish tank and there's
He's got
women
a
everywhere. And he's like, all right. And he has one of his women take off Robert's belt and they sit on the bed and they bring out Coke and he shoots Coke for the first time.
He shoots it.
Yeah, he shoots Coke for the first time, and the way he describes
with
it.
his own belt.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to tie it around your arm and all that shit.
You could use anybody's belt. It's ceremonial.
And he's like, I felt like a ton of nitro exploded in me. My ticker went berserk. I could feel it clawing up my throat. It was like I had a million swipes in every pore from head to toe. Swipes are dicks. I feel like I had a million dicks in every pore from head to toe. It was like they were all popping off together in a nerve-shredding climax.
I had all the dicks.
There were dicks in every pore of my body coming at the same time.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
I was quivering like a joker in the hot seat at the first jolt. I tried to open my dry mouth. I couldn't. I was paralyzed. I could feel a hot ball of puke racing up from my careening guts. I saw the green, stinking puke rope arch into the black mouth of the wastebasket. I felt the cool metal against my chest. I saw Top's manicured fingers pressing it close to me. He was saying, "You'll be all right in a minute, kid. You thought I was bullshitting when I told you I had the best stuff in town." And
yeah,
then,
also, it's the first time he did it. It could have been
and
anything.
and then
This cat food's delicious.
and then he says like,
Fancy piece.
I felt like I'd blown apart and all that was left were my eyes. The tiny prickly feet of ecstasy started dancing through me. I heard melodious bells tolling softly inside my skull. I looked down at my hands and thighs. A thrill shot through me. Surely they were the most beautiful in the universe. I felt a Superman surge of power. And then he starts like then the confident, like he throws up and he gets off that first bang.
Right.
And then he's just like, ooh, man, I'm into this. Like it's kind of this mystical experience, right? And you know, it's taking the red pill or whatever, or you know, Alice
Chop path.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. I get it now.
And he's just like, yo, I'm gonna be the best pimp in the world. Like he's high as fuck and he's mad about
He's
it.
dreaming about it.
He's not dreaming. He's awake. He's high
No,
as
I know,
fuck.
but he's
talking shit.
In the midst of the high, he's like,
Yeah,
man,
it's
I'm
like
gonna fucking turn the game around.
Exactly.
Like, that type of
Exactly.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because we just fucking shoved a needle in
Oh
something.
no, yeah, we did. No, we all shot coke, and then we're like, I'm gonna turn the pimp game around. Yeah, we all been there.
What are you talking about?
No, but I'm talking about like when you're drunk and you're fucked up and you're like, this is how I gotta do this. This is how.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But even then, he still has the wherewithal to play top. He plays Glass Top here because he's like, I was thinking, even in like the most high I've ever been, I was so focused on the game that I knew that I needed to play Glass Top and appeal to his ego. And so I would tell him like, you know, Top, you know, I was thinking about like how much more common sense and cooler than you got than Baby Bell. You know, I was just thinking of that, like
Nice.
how dope you are.
That just occurred to me, man.
You know,
Oh man, it's something about this drugs.
And Top was like, oh, you know Baby Bell? He's like, well, no, I just saw him last night at the Roost, and like, you know, he talks. I
talked a lot of shit about me.
Yeah, and he said he was
"Don't
gonna
smile."
fucking blow my head off, and you know, I just sort of thought you were way cooler, anyways, and so like that kind of ingratiates him with Glass Top, and like so they have this kind of bonding, quote unquote, moment. And
He's like, you're right, I am cooler.
I am very cool.
I've been telling people.
And
Nobody gets it.
yeah,
You
Glass
do.
Top.
You get it.
Yeah, finally.
Thank you.
We're best friends.
Do you feel like there's a million dicks in your pores coming right now, too? And so then Glass Top tells Robert the story of Baby Bell and where he came from. Again, why he doesn't like white chicks or white people. really crazy.
You're saving that one,
Yeah, I'm gonna save that for the Patreon.
baby. $5 a month.
So sometimes time goes by and not a lot, but just doing his normal pimp thing. And sorry, my headphones just died. So
Hold on. Yeah, keep going. I'll get you another.
so Glasstop calls him one day. He's like, "Yo, I got a plan to get you hooked up with Baby Bell." Because they both want, like, Glasstop thinks that they are gonna play him and take some of his girls, but really Robert just kind of wants to have him pull his coat
Right.
because he's the top.
He's the best.
He's the best. And
So he's using Glasstop to be able to be in a position to pull the coat of Baby Bill.
right. And
And Baby Bill has already told him, come back when you don't smile.
exactly. And dude, thank you. I'm gonna get these headphones on, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. Matter.
Get intimate with the format.
What? Get
Get
intimate.
intimate with the format.
Get intimate with the
format.
Should I bang some girl?
It's the new world. It's the internet. It's
Learn
brand
it,
new.
friend.
So they the plan is that I got a meeting because
Who's
I'm this is Glasstop. Is that I'm gonna be selling some drugs to Baby Bell, and I'm gonna bring you along because you know that Glasstop's got the best drugs. You saw it. You puked it up. You love it, and that's my connect to Baby. Is
top
that
class, baby.
That's right. I sell drugs.
Yeah.
So I'm having a meeting. I'm going to be selling them a bunch of shit. You're going to come with me. I'm going to tell them you're my cousin from out of town, and you are just just trying to pick up on the pimp game. You've never done it before. You're fucking a nothing, right?
So Baby Bell's seen this guy and doesn't really know, but he's also saying
He just saw him and didn't like
and
the
he's
way
like,
he was
"Don't
grinning.
smile."
Right. He
Okay.
just didn't like the
So
way
just- okay.
he was,
And he probably was like, "Who's that?" And someone's like, "I don't know."
So
Smiling motherfucker.
Robert.
That's right.
Like, that's Robert.
There's no Roberts here.
So on their drive there, even that he's getting hip to the game. Because Glasstop was like, I'm gonna tell you some more shit. Like, and it's just more of this fucked up head game shit that they play on these poor women. It's like,
It's really fucked up.
yeah, it's
Pretty fucked up.
it's just basically like
Go
getting him hooked on heroin. You know,
Yeah,
I got
drugs.
Okay, here we go. With this, I could talk like a sweet head shrinker to her, talking about his whores. I pump her full of H, right? And then her skull starts to jelly, and I'll be worried as hell about her. I'll start sneaking slugs of morphine or chloral hydrate into her shots of heroin, so they're extra.
Jesus.
While she's out, I'll maybe douse her with chicken blood. She comes to, and I'll tell her I brought her in from the street, and I tell her, I hope you didn't kill anybody while you were sleepwalking.
Oh.
I got 1,000 ways to drive him goofy. The last broad I flipped, I hung her out a fifth floor window. I gave her a jolt of pure cocaine so she'd wake up outside the window. I was holding her by both wrists. Her feet were dangling in the air. She opened her eyes when she looked down. She screamed like a scared baby. She was screaming when they came to get her. You see, kid, I'm all business. I ain't got an ounce of hate in me.
I mean, we talk about what John McCain went through, but this is.
I don't have an ounce of hate.
He's like,
in
this
me.
is just business, and I'm doing it to control, just to control their reality.
Jesus.
And later,
Yeah,
in
and
interviews,
they are.
They ask Iceberg, like, what do you think about the life of a whore? And he's like, it's got to be 100% a pure nightmare and misery all the time. The pressure of the pimp on them to deliver, the pressure of the street, the cons that they face, the threat that they face every day. I cannot imagine what it is. And
then they get and then at the end of it,
He says that.
they get
later in an interview later in his life, yeah.
and then when they try to escape from it, they get arrested for being a prostitute.
Exactly.
So
and then
it's like-
probably raped by a police officer or something.
Yeah,
or at least not.
it's just like, miss, were you just tortured for the last 15 years? Well, no, now we're going to put you in jail.
So they get to Baby Bell's penthouse, right? And this is kind of in a nicer-ish part of town, but it's definitely a nice penthouse. And they pull the car in, and a white guy comes out to park the car, like a white valet. good evening, gentlemen, and we're here to see Mr. Bell. And they go up and Mr. They give a fake name for Richard Robert.
I'm Freddie Fraud.
Well, I'm his cousin, right?
I'm Jake Fraud.
So they go up.
It would be Jake Glasstop.
They go up and he says that we stepped out onto a gold carpeted entrance hall, and the entrance hall was bigger than Glasstop's living room. And that was the nice place with the fish tank and all the women and the drugs. A skinny Filipino in a lame gold outfit came toward us. He was grinning and bowing his head. His hair flopped across his skull like the wings of a wounded raven. Crystal chandeliers, gold suits, all that stuff. Follow me this way, right? And just listen to the description of this scene, all right?
Okay.
We followed him to the brink of a sunken living room. It was like a pasha's passion pit. A green light inside the gurgling bowl of a huge fountain beamed on the vulgar face of a stone woman squatting over it. She was nude and as big as a baby elephant. The red light inside her skull blazed, her eyes staring straight ahead. Her giant hands pressed the tips of her long breast into each corner of her wide-open mouth. She was peeing serenely and endlessly into the fountain bowl. We stepped down to the champagne oriental carpet. Sweet Baby Bell was sitting across the dim room on a white velour couch. He was wearing a white satin smoking jacket. He looked like a huge black fly in a bucket of milk. Miss Peaches was curled at his side. She was resting her black spotted head on a silk turquoise pillow. Belle was stroking her back. She purred and locked her yellow eyes on us. I got a whiff of her raw animal odor. Miss Peaches is the ocelot. Belle said, "Sit your black asses down. You've been dangling me. What happened? Did that raggedy nickel hog break down? Did your car break down? Is that why you're late?" So this is your square country nephew talking about Robert, right? Glasstop sat on the couch next to Miss Peaches, and I sat in a blue velour chair several yards to the side of Glasstop. I was nervous when Baby Bell looked at me, and I grinned at him.
No, and then
I jerked my eyes away.
No.
I jerked my eyes away to a large picture on the wall over the couch. A naked white broad was on her hands and knees. A Great Dane with his red tongue lolling out was astraddle her back.
No.
He had his paws hooked under her breast.
Aaron.
Her blonde head was turned looking back at him. Her blue eyes popped wide open. Glasstop said, "Man, that hog ain't no plane. I got here as quick as I could. You know, I don't play no games on you." And then Robert says, "Thank you, Mr. Bell, for letting me come up here."
So nice of you.
And he recognizes him. He's like, "Aren't you that little shit I chased out of that?"
Aren't you the smiliest guy I ever met in my life?
Yeah, exactly. He goes, "That was me, and I beg your pardon for doing the sly thing a lot. But maybe I could have got a pass if I told you his nephew. But I just don't know much here. He plays dumb, right?"
Huh. I'm a simple caveman.
Exactly.
Your world frightens and scares me.
Is this scene? Chappelle read this book before he wrote Half Baked because this is the scene.
Yeah, Samson.
Yeah, this is them going to see Samson.
Of course, that is a
Yes. Cuban B.
Yes.
So that's the crazy scene that Baby Bell's place is, and
My thing is this, Aaron.
yeah,
Is you go like, "I'm sorry I came in here with that fake bullshit." You go like, "What is the whole level scam?"
but it's also like you can still always appeal to an ego,
Right.
and he's just like, "I'm not here, like I'm not trying to get some blessing for pimping," and I just.
So I learn more from you.
He's like, I just don't want to be a stick-up man. I don't want to be a peddler. I don't want to be selling drugs. The white man has like all the good jobs. And Baby Bell hates white people because of what happened to his family and his race at large, by and large. But he appeals to his contempt for white America and the white man and his ego as being the top pimp. And, I just want to be like you.
Yeah.
And... he kind of is amenable to the idea because he just thinks he's a square country boy. He's not smart enough to try and get one over on him.
Still smiling.
Right?
Yeah.
So he thought, he didn't know that he was just a country, quote unquote, country bumpkin. And so now he's less threatening and is appealing to his ego and his contempt of the situation for black people in the city in America. Mm-hmm. And so he's a little more amenable to it.
Plus he came back.
and he came back.
He tried again.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
ambition goes a long way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's genuine ambition too. That is not the con, right? That's
Right,
real.
right, yeah.
ambition.
Whatever gets me in the room, I will do it. And it's like, oh, suddenly I'm not supposed to be the. Check me out. I'm actually a woman.
There,
And you're like, oh no, you're not. You were smiley here last time. And you're like, okay, I'm not a woman.
Well, you got me, but I'm
I
here.
just want to be here.
So he's walking around the penthouse a little bit more. Some nasty other shit happens, and the music's playing, and he sees some more pimps and whores like just kind of hanging around, talking shit and
milling.
yapping, and then
Eating
you kind of
breakfast
get your
cereal.
first, at least in this book, you get an idea of the pimp, the toast.
The shit talking.
So yeah, this one is the toast. So there's like dozens shit talking, and then there's like the boasting, right, which later gets kind of converted into rap, and
Both do.
exactly.
The shit talk and the brag.
Yeah, some Rudy
Both
Ray,
get moved into rap.
And so one of the
Rudy Ray Moore and
Oh no,
Rudy Ray Moore absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about that with Dolomite.
yeah.
Rudy Ray Moore played Dolomite, and I mean this is it's absolutely
It's
inspired by this.
born out of the same kind of
this book.
Oh, you're saying
Thi-
specifically?
This book was the first glimpse into that world. It made its way to mainstream, but like nothing had ever been written like this. Period. End of story. Full stop.
But in the movie, they play it like it comes straight from the street.
Right. But that's the movie.
Rudy Ray Moore had albums. He put out. There were albums of him.
But even then,
it was just shit talk. But it was jokey.
Right.
It wasn't.
But even then,
this.
it was supposed to be from like wino guys on the street.
Yeah.
Right. But like, what year was that?
I don't know, I want to say
70s.
70 something.
It came out in like 68.
Yeah.
And that was after a lifetime
Wow.
of pimping.
Okay. Yeah.
This was the world's first look into that.
Yeah.
And it was sold in drugstores and porno shop. Like this never made it into bookstores.
Yeah.
So anyways, here's the first look at the toast is the pimp says, before I'd touch a square bitch's slit, I'd suck 1,000 clappy pricks and swim through liquid shit. They got green puke between their rotten toes and snot runs from their funky nose. I hope all square bitches become syphilitic wrecks. I hope they fall through their own assholes and break their motherfucking necks.
Oh my God.
So there's that.
That's exactly what Rudy,
They roared. They begged him to do it again. And
That's how I feel.
yeah, isn't that nice?
It's important to take a stand, yeah.
And then like,
I
then
don't
this
feel that
other
way.
woman shows up, this pimp, and she tries to like suck his dick, and he's like, I'm not gonna let you suck my dick until you pay me. And so he's like playing the game there at Belle's place, and she pulls out a fucking switchblade and starts just unzipping his pants with the other hand, and then Belle stops her, and he's like, he's mine. Put the knife away, you nasty bitch. Don't fuck with him. He's mine.
He's my
He's mine.
subsidiary
Just
pimp.
mine.
What do you think that he had done during that time that I mean, was there anything specifically that stood out to you of why he would
Probably master.
So I'm not sure what your question is.
Well,
Why would Baby Bell be like, why am I taking on Robert and making him Iceberg Slim? He probably would have done something that was worth taking over.
Was there any moment during that visit where you're like, oh, this is why would Baby Bell do that? Because it doesn't seem like. He's grabby, right? He wants to own everything.
There were a few other times where this is a party with pimps and whores,
right?
and everyone's not only fucking doing drugs and all that stuff, like everyone's also trying to like con everybody. And when Red Cora shows up and she's like, I'm gonna suck that pretty dick of yours, pull it out, or I'm gonna cut you, and he's still like, no, that's test.
Yeah,
he's following rule number 1 of the book.
right.
You don't give up that swipe for nothing, even if there's a knife at your dick. And so it's my understanding that Bell sees that and steps
And he says, "So I can try. This guy gets it."
Right.
Yeah.
He's not going to try and pimp one of my chicks. He's
not here to get his dick sucked. He's here for business.
and
He's
then
here to
she
do
goes and
work.
shoots some dope.
Who does?
Red Cora, the woman that.
Sure, he did.
And I mean, and it's just the shit talking in this whole scene is incredible. I'll do some. I'll get it out of the audiobook because the guy that reads the audiobook is really good and says words that I can't say. No, it's a nice black man.
Women with green toes.
Oh, there's a lot of racial epithets and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right. So to give you an idea, she's like, you jiving pretty son of a bitch. You ain't no pimp. I'm gonna eat your sweet ass up and chop off your dick. Pull that pretty dick out, and then Bell comes up and literally kicks her in the ass a few times with his pointed boots and grabs a fistful of her hair and says, "Bullshit, bitch. This chump is in my school. I ain't gonna let you George him. He's mine. Now Nix, bitch. Nix." Like just
Stevie Nicks.
He's off limits, It's like Squirrel Man in Half Baked.
Nah.
Well, he's
Chappelle.
Squirrel Master.
He's in my school. That's.
But he also fucking got in his face and grabbed his neck and aggressively checked him too.
He's controlling.
Yeah, it's the show, and it's domination, and it's a show of force.
It's gotta be exhausting. I mean, come on.
And he's like, stop, because he smiled again. He's like, you gotta be icy. Like a berg. No, like the inside of a dead horse pussy is what he says.
It's far less.
And he's like, if you're a bitch or you're a sissy or something, let me know. I'll put you in drag and you can whore from me. Stay out of my face until you freeze up and stop that grinning.
Promise.
It's just, it's crazy. It's the same thing that a pimp will do to his hooker or his prostitute. Right. Is I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna talk to you again, and then I'm gonna help you up.
Yeah.
It's like this is all me.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
That's abuse. That's how abuse works.
Pseudo parenting.
Oh,
I'm the one that punishes
absolutely.
you.
Right.
And
I'm the one that nourishes you. Mm-hmm. I am the one.
You need
everything
me.
At the end of the day.
Yes.
It's coming back to me.
If I am not here, you are dead.
You're lost.
Yeah.
So then him and Glasstop leave the penthouse. On the way out, they get stopped by the cops, and the cops are fucking mad racist at him and shit. And they pull him out of the car. Like, what are you doing in this part of town? All that stuff. And they drop Baby's name. And they're like, oh.
Oh, you know Mr. Bell?
You know Mr. Bell.
Senor Bell.
And they let him go.
It's huge.
Senor Bell, grande.
And then it's just more examples of him learning his lessons and implementing them. He meets a new girl, Chris, and she's real green, and he takes her to his place, and
in Georgia.
No, huh?
Does he Georgia her?
No. He doesn't Georgia. Like he's not he shoots coke in her leg.
Oh yeah.
She throws up, starts loving it. I want to be your girl forever.
Oh, God.
And he says, "Tell me your life story."
God damn.
And she does, and her dad fucked her after her mom died, and it's just he gets all the info. I mean, it's just all of these people are fucked up. Like somebody in their family fucked them, or like.
And then there's always somebody to fuck them more.
Exactly.
And
you get that life story.
Yeah.
God damn.
And that's what Aaron likes. That's what I've noticed. He's the savagery and the domination, and the exploitation, the humiliation.
You're wondering why
the shamefulness.
He keeps saying those things about you.
You're sick.
On the show.
You're sick. You're sick.
Hey, no. John.
I respect you.
I'm sick for you.
But you're sick.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You don't get it. I'm sick for you.
Is that true?
Isn't it?
Oh, man, I've been missing mad signals, dude. I'm dumb.
And you are.
I'm slow.
Now get over here and put out. So that whole scene is described exquisitely. I mean, just the poetic name. I'm really not doing it justice because I'm not even reading the best stuff because I'm saving it for the Patreon, which is only $5 a month. But you'll hear
That's all.
a month.
That's all.
Oh my God, we've had so many good episodes.
You just kick up the scratch and then
Don't you want to find out about hardcore weird shit?
So he does that with Chris, and she becomes one of his women, even though she's married, has a dude.
Huh?
Yeah.
Has a dude?
Yeah, she's got a dude. She's got like a square guy.
Oh, okay.
He's like, please don't fuck anybody, please.
Dude, it's a nightmare.
While we're married, I swear to God,
It's a fucking
I would
nightmare.
just be. I would just be
Like he's got like scars and shit because of an accident, and like
Nice.
she doesn't love him anymore. And
because of the accident.
yeah,
Post marriage, he had the accident.
yeah, yeah,
and
so now
she's like, "That's nasty.
Right.
I don't want to fuck that."
exactly.
this night-
I'll get coke shot in my thigh. by
Do you
this
ever
fucking
think
maniac.
about how much people don't get a good shake when they're like not into accident people, and they're like,
Yeah.
you ever think about that?
They're not into accident people? What are you talking about?
I fell into this knife that cut a swastika
This
into my
woman being
cheek.
like, I don't want to fuck this guy anymore. He looks like a fucking like Hamburglar, you know?
Well,
the Hamburglar's not that.
well, he probably
he's
went
wearing
through
a mask.
like,
what are you talking about?
He goes through the windshield glass, and then he's got
looks like
like
Zorro. It's hot.
a hamburger.
All right, fine. It looks fine. Get ahead.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
So
Look like a hamburger.
one of now Iceberg's got like 2-3 girls.
Nice.
And one of them is giving him a little bit of grief.
Oh no.
So he calls up Sweet Baby Bell. I keep calling him Sweet Jones.
Baby Bell.
But
Sweet
he
Baby
calls
Ray.
up Baby Bell,
Yeah.
and he's begging for help for this underperforming girl. And so he has him come over,
Oh no.
and it's like, all right, what's the problem? You know. Well, and then he goes, you know,
I love pasta.
this is where he tells him the story of the history of the first black pimps, and
Whoa,
the
that sounds fascinating.
that's for the Patreon. And
$5 a month, folks. I mean, come on.
and he breaks down this dynamic of why white men go for black prostitutes, and about the overvaluation of white female sexuality and virginity, and their taboo, the taboo element of having sex with black women, and the threat of black men to their white masculinity. It's this incredible takedown that you can get on the Patreon for only $5 a month. Because I love you. Because I love you.
That's why.
The $5 is an emotional, psychological commitment.
Yeah. To Aaron.
That's right.
Pimp
Who
yourself
is-
out.
Yeah, pimp yourself to Aaron.
So then he says,
You're sick. You're a sick man.
then he says to Iceberg, tell me your life story.
Baby Bell does.
Yeah.
So now
He starts pimping the fucking Robert.
Yeah.
he's so but that like that's now Robert is going.
He must
I'm
know.
in. I'm in.
But he
this
also-
is it. This is
But,
it.
but Robert knows by now, right? Aaron?
What do you mean?
Yeah, he does. And this whole time, Baby Bell's petting his fucking ocelot. And then like,
Jesus. Yeah, Samson shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's total Samson shit.
I want to talk to Samson.
And he talks
Fly
about
me to the moon like that bitch Alex Grant.
I'm black and gifted.
Fly me to the moon.
I want to get lifted.
Domestic abuse joke into fly me to the moon.
so. You know, he says that.
Amazing.
Here, do you want me to give you some?
Yeah. I mean, you
Drop
have
it.
you have been all night.
Drop it.
He goes. He calls him Greenie because he's green still.
Green.
Didn't we lock you in a pimp house once? I got out.
He goes, those pimps were black geniuses. They wrote that skull book on pimping. Even now, if it wasn't for that frantic army of white tricks, N-word pimps would starve to death. Greenie, the white man, has been pig greedy for black broads ever since his first whiff of black pussy. Black whores con themselves. The only reason he sniffs his way to him is white broads ain't got what it takes to please him. I'm hippie's got 2 other sick secret reasons. White women ain't hip to his secret reasons. The dumb white broads ain't even hip to why he locks all black men inside tight stockades. He'd love it if those black broads wasn't locked in there. The white man is scared shitless. He don't want them humping bucks coming out of there in the white world rubbing their bellies against those soft white bellies. That's the reason he keeps them all locked up. To show you how sick in the head he is, he thinks black broads are dirt beneath his feet. His balls will bust if he don't sneak through that stockade to those half-savage, less-than-human black broads. You know, Greenie, why he's got to come to him? The silly, sick bastard is like a whore that needs and loves punishment. He's a joke with scratch in his hand. As great as he thinks he is, he can't keep his beak and dick out of the stink of a black ass. He wallows and stains himself. The poor freak's joy is in his suffering. The chump believes he's done something dirty to himself. He slips back into his white world. He goes on conning himself that he's God, and blacks are filthy wild animals he has to keep in the stockades. The sad thing is, he doesn't even know he's sick in the skull. Greenie, I'm pulling your coat from the bottom to the top. That rundown on the first pimps will make you proud to be a pimp. Dude.
This guy can talk.
Just the fucking it's really good.
He can float. He drags you in with that talk.
So he gives him some tips on how to boost the productivity of the underperforming one. One is brilliant. The other is savage. One is go out of town, go to Western Union, send all the money you have to yourself under the name of another woman, and take that delivery, the Western Union, in front of the underperforming woman, and she'll see that you're getting $500 from another one, and she will be humping sparks out of her ass in the streets for that. The other one is take a wire hanger, cut it in half, and twist it into a braid and beat the shit out of her.
Oh God.
He does
which
both.
Which one worked better?
Oh, they work together in concert.
I mean,
so now it's 1941.
Christ.
All right, and we're getting sort of to the end of part one here. It's 1941. Some wonderful shit talking here with a couple of young girls.
Man, it's crazy thing is 41.
So 1941. Now he's in his 30s.
Yeah.
Late 20s. Baby Bell comes over. Glass Top's in jail, selling for narcotics, 5-year tip.
Yeah.
Baby Bell comes over. Says, Berg, Uncle Sam just got his throat cut. Those slant eyes just put the torch to Pearl Harbor. Whore's going to make more scratch now than ever before. Berg, I got a feeling this Second World War is going to hurt the pimp game in the long run. How do you figure that? You know, a whore ain't got nothing but an X square. A good pimp wears out a lot of whores in his lifetime. If there ain't no big pool of squares for the pimps to turn out, then the stable's got to get smaller. The defense plants are going to claim thousands of young potential whores. Those square bitches are going to get those paychecks. They'll get independent. A pimp can't turn them out. Just seeing it. The December 7th, 1941, immediately, playing it out.
He's got the stock ticker and he's going, this isn't good for the company at all.
But he's also saying there's going to be, for lack of a better term, good upstanding whores that will not bleed into his business.
If any whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the older square broads are going to get into the plants too.
Yeah.
Thousands of them will have teenage daughters. They'll have the scratch to fill the bellies of those young girls.
With real jobs.
They'll put nice clothes on their backs. Why the hell should they whore for a pimp?
When they can fill shells to win the war. Yeah.
I think
And he says, Iceberg, there ain't but one real heaven for a pimp. He's in it when there's a big pool of raggedy, hungry young bitches.
God damn. That's ruthless.
And that's why Chappelle calls this book The Capitalist Manifesto.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just thinking, like, what happens, you know, that whole business that they get into, you know, there's so many capitalist factors.
Oh yeah, there's no question it's the same. It is. It's disgusting.
There's some more ass beatings and pimping. Days later, so he beats the shit out of Chris, gets her jaw wired shut. Because
who does?
Iceberg.
Slim.
Yeah.
Is he Iceberg now?
Yeah, he's Iceberg now, but even though he never really was, it's a total.
And what does he beat up Chris for?
Oh, talking shit. Being just, you know, I could name something.
Yeah. But
the point is that she gets beat so bad that she has to go to the hospital.
And when she does,
and she has to get her jaw wired shut. She disappears for a couple of days, and in that time, Baby Bill comes over and tells him that he's got word that the FBI is tailing him for violation of the Mann Act. And the Mann Act is
The FBI is tailing Baby Bill. No, they're
Iceberg.
Iceberg.
Every Baby Bill is the slipperiest motherfucker.
Right. So is he telling the truth? Is he conning him? Is he pimping? Is he trying to
And
take
he's
his
done it
stable?
before,
Right.
and Iceberg's seen him do it before.
Exactly. So it's all very, very slippery, right? And he says the FBI is telling you for violation of the Mann Act. And the Mann Act is also known as the White Slavery Act.
That's how they got Jack Johnson.
Exactly. You taking a girl across state lines for bad purposes, right? Because they would go between Milwaukee and Chicago all the time, or down a road. Like they would kind of fuck around in that.
That was a crime.
Federal, right? And they could get you for it real easy. And it was
It's pretty much it's an excuse for the government to
right. And at this point he's banging coke every day.
Nah, that's not helpful.
And no, it's not helpful. And so now he's getting he's wired, he stays up, he stays in his apartment all the time, doesn't leave.
Freaking out.
Yeah, he's freaking out, bugging out, and he's like, what did Chris rat on me, or is this a play by Baby? So he's just running through his, he's running, the wheels are spinning in his head because he's blown out on cocaine and he doesn't know what to think. So he disappears for weeks on end for his girls, and he says that he's running. He calls them. He has his bottom girl. Bottom girl is your most loyal, oldest woman, and he has her pretend to be a long distance operator and calls the girls at their apartments and long distance call from fucking Florida, whatever. And so he's I'm out of state. I'm working on a big counterfeit. We got counterfeit plates from a mint. I got a man on the inside. We're gonna be millionaires by the time I come back. I'm gonna be gone. How's work? And he's checking in. He's fucking down the street, and just doesn't want to be thought of that he's in town. It's really fucked up mind games and so ornate. So the coke ends up being too much. It doesn't get him high anymore, just makes him paranoid. So he's like, oh, maybe I'll just start shooting heroin. So he started shooting heroin.
Wow.
Calm him down, chill him out.
Yeah, I need to chill out.
He's also taking uppers and downers because he's giving the girls uppers and downers too.
Yeah.
So he's doing a lot of drugs. And then Baby Bill tells him, local cops been seen. They're carrying your mugshot around.
No.
So he holds up in his hotel, and your heroin's only gonna last so long.
Sure.
Before you gotta leave, and he can't call anybody to bring it to him because he's hiding out.
Yeah.
So he decides to take a risk and go out and cop some heroin. And he walks down a few blocks, and a couple cops see him.
No.
See the mugshot. And he gets sent to county lockup. And that is where we will leave this story.
All right, Aaron. All right.
And there's
very tasty.
So much more.
I bet there's a lot of bad stuff, and I bet you love it all.
Oh,
I bet you like it all.
I don't like
because
to.
you
I
have
don't
no
like to see.
dignity.
I don't like to see the
You have
exploitation.
no morality. You're sick.
And incest.
And
insects.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was really great.
That was holy shit.
I'm very interested to find out the rest of this guy's story. I also know that I can come at it, like I said, from a healthy, skeptical point of view.
Yeah. So part of it,
But there is a whole thing about, like I was saying, the guys that get north, imitating the free white men and going out and gambling, and also the jobs.
It's also a very just masculine thing to do, like not in a good way, but it's a thing that guys do, is gamble and whore around and drink and do drugs. Anytime you have a chance.
But then when you have the opportunity to do it for the first time, you're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also,
not me.
Also,
not me.
Also, the jobs that the white community would not allow you to have.
Yeah.
Mean that the most thoughtful and intelligent and ambitious of you will be bootleggers or pimps or something like that.
Yeah, this is the narrow band
and then you'll turn
occupations that you're able to operate within.
Then you'll turn it against them and be like, well, you see, they're all fucking drunks and pimps. And it's like, well, you won't let them be anything else.
Exactly.
Look at
'Cause it
that.
suits
Look
you.
at them. They're
even then,
doing the
you
thing
know,
we made them do.
there were still, even when they went north to these industrial cities that were more liberal in terms of their hiring, like they were not paid as much. They could not join unions.
And
Women were still just doing domestic
they
work.
were
and
beaten by the cops.
white people felt this thing of like, we saved you.
Right.
And-
But meanwhile, they gave them the most dangerous jobs.
Yeah.
The ones where they were exposed to the most like chemicals and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jobs that were dead end jobs.
Well, I
like-
mean, so the south side of Chicago is where the fucking meat districts are.
Yeah.
And all of the air they're breathing is
Yeah.
just slaughtered animals.
Yeah.
Nonstop. You know, as Baldwin says, he says the North isn't better. They castrate you too. They just do it differently.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, yes, the North castrates you too. I mean, it's going to...
They do it with anesthetic.
Well, there is a thing too, where like the machinery behind commerce hurts everyone, as in the fog in London, which we all found out was just sheer pollution.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be worse
And it's
in the black district in America.
Yeah, like
the white
Kirk and
people
Katrina.
always.
the white people are always going to press down, and when they press down,
Right.
once they get through the poor white people, then they start
Yeah.
getting through into anybody who's not white.
Well, this is
Right.
this is really I think fantastic thing to go down for the show that we'd never have before.
What's
I
that?
think we've talked about some madams and stuff in the show,
Yeah, but
We
never,
certainly have, yes.
yeah, never.
but I don't think an explicit pimp sort of thing. And like I was telling you before, like there is a thing that like you recoil at, but also when you take into account all of the personal issues, the mother issues and stuff like that, and also the limited opportunities that are allowed for intelligent young black men.
and
you got to be like, oh well, there's this one pimp that is really interesting and has a great life story. A part of you goes, well, I don't want to listen to anybody that's exploited women, and then you go like, well, what
do you
were-
want to hear fucking Thomas Jefferson?
but also
Yeah.
but also what were his other choices?
Right. I mean, listen, we it seems like now we're a little more hip to and the idea of understanding how people's trauma, especially childhood trauma, informs their lifestyle, right? And
Yeah.
I
I was talking about it today, like it's supposed to be really actually in the Watchmen sense, genetically handed down.
right, definitely,
Yeah,
without a
abuse
doubt.
almost, it seems like.
Um,
Nature and nurture.
Yeah.
What John is talking about is like the notion of epigenetic trauma, passing it down, and that it is a real thing.
Yes.
But I mean, then there's just straight up trauma that happened to you, and you don't even
Yeah.
have to pass it down yet.
You haven't had time.
Yeah, it's
You haven't made it into a deal meal card yet.
a deal meal card.
Deal a meal card?
Is that a Hamburglar? Another
No,
reference?
that's Richard. That's Richard Simmons. It's deal a meal cards.
Because can you hand those down to your kids or something?
Well, they're cards. You can deal them any way you want.
Yeah.
So what I was getting at is that what else? So many of these women that end up being prostitutes were abandoned or raped by someone in their family. So the way that their trauma manifests for them is they become these prostitutes or pickpockets or whatever, and they end up being manipulated and abused further because that's the cycle of trauma.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me that a man who has this type of trauma, just with the nature of the fact that men are inherently more aggressive, is going to become a fucking psychopath. When your system is narrow and you have so few tracks to take, one of them being sadistic pimp, it seems like the guy who gets forced to eat pussy at 3, thrown against a wall, watch a cat die, watch his mom get taken advantage of by a hustler pimp. Well, it seems to me like he's gonna become one. What else? What else was he gonna become?
Not only that too, but the crazy thing that people don't realize is like when they think about like hookers and pimps and stuff like that, they go like they don't understand that the thing they're going back to at the end of the day is a rigid structure.
The only time they're free is
That's really what they want. They still want everything that you're accusing them of rebelling against.
Right.
They want somebody reliable where it's like, I paid this much after this trick, and this guy takes care of me.
It's a structure.
And this is structure is all anybody want, and all those people come from a structural background.
Yeah, if you are somebody who has no problem with the notion of a young child billionaire seeing their parents murdered and he becomes Batman, then you should 100% understand when somebody is traumatized or exploited as a child and they become a prostitute or a pimp.
Yeah.
It's no different.
Yeah, and they look to sources of power and
a way to work through or reclaim the power of that trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the people that go against it too. Like everything from like what I was telling you about in the episode with Lieutenant Joseph Petrosino when he adopts those kids.
Yeah.
And like he's just like or he's adopted by the Irish judge.
Right.
And the judge is, and then he grows up in this Italian community, and he's just like, I am not going to let all you fucking people be abused by the mafia. And he becomes a total lawman. Like, it really is all nurture.
Yep.
And barely at all nature.
There's so much of that, and it even in a finer sense, it's what happened. All these guys go to Vietnam, and when they come back, their brains are destroyed because they were created. They took a clean cut kid and they made a killer out of him.
And a drug addict.
Yeah.
And then they never show you how to turn it off.
Yeah. And then they say, you're the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
You're the one that's messed up.
It's fucking Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
Like
it is. It's exactly that.
You made me this, like,
and now you reject me for myself.
now I came home and now I'm not good enough. Like,
You made me.
yeah, it's
One of the benefits I think about from the black community that Slim would have is that the whole thing is an abject lie.
what is
the whole white perspective on the climb that black America
but that only
should be
goes so far.
Well, it goes far enough to make you understand that your actions are not totally ridiculous,
Right?
And make
Certainly.
you not completely.
so you
lose
mean
your mind.
the benefit is
knowing the lie exists.
Right, but even then, at the end of the day, they still might just murder you because they want to believe the lie.
But you still know.
well he uses the lie. Part of the pimp thing is, and he talks about it, is I am a storyteller, and it's to, if you think being having, the dream is all with the pimp is the woman does all the work and then you get the money. Yeah, that's part of it, right? They're doing this nightmare job for, especially back then, of the trick turning in cars and all that stuff on dangerous streets, and they're giving this money to this man. But the work that this guy is doing is telling however many different stories, world creating, managing the relationships between one. You have to pair them off, but you can't put a new girl with the oldest girl.
Sure.
And you can't put the two new ones. Like, there's this incredible dynamic management.
He's a manager.
And if you do, you feed them different lies about each other.
I mean, it's not admirable anyway, but it is complicated. And
Chef, 6 fingers.
You're also selling them a lie of, and we'll get to it later, and it's no longer as easy as it was to do, but the lie of the dream.
Yeah.
Look at what, like, part of the whole thing of the hair, the hair and the jewelry and the clothes
Is you get out.
Is yes. Look, follow me, and we will be rich together.
I don't need
look what I have.
I don't need to do this.
I don't know. No, I'm doing this.
I don't need you to
Come on,
stop.
like they would go get swaths of fabric and staple them to the walls of their hotel room, like make it look they had velvet walls, and a new car every year and all that, is just to keep up the appearance and to make them believe that they are more than what they really are.
It's cultish. It's
absolutely cultish, and part of it that changes as time goes on is that he talks about toward the end, and this is not really spoiling anything, but at the end he's like, back when I was pimping, it was the 30s and 40s, and like maybe as I got older, 50s, but like everyone started having more radios and movies,
Speed of information.
When we got out of the
TVs,
depression,
and you could see
people that were
the
full of shit.
real rich people, and like.
Yeah.
You got to imagine the world at this time was very small for each individual person.
Yeah.
and all you knew was what was in front of you.
Sure.
And so that guy down the street who's got the nice guy, like, well, it's the only one I've ever seen. I don't know what a fucking Duesenberg is, if it's real or not.
No.
I don't know what, like, if that's a real diamond or not, but that's all I know. I've never seen a mansion.
Yeah.
Well, is that a mansion?
Yeah.
This hotel room
as
with
well
a
be.
fucking plastic chandelier, is this a mansion? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that world creating kind of got a lot more difficult.
Caught up with them.
It did. As well as women's lib and civil rights movement and more opportunities for black people and the post-war economy and
Well,
But we will catch up with this next
when the
week.
economy grows, everybody says, "Well, what shouldn't I be equal to?"
right.
Next
So,
week?
Next week, yeah, we can do next
Oh,
week,
baby.
and maybe this week on the Patreon, we'll do
A couple of miscellaneous tales, for instance.
yeah, and I'll have some clips from the audio book, and maybe some interview stuff.
That'd be tasty.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
it was a real good
maybe
time.
some more. And then after the second episode, I'll have some of his late clips from his later works
Okay.
because I don't want to spoil them.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
It won't be the whole Patreon,
Cool.
Sure.
but for a second page, so because there is more to this guy's life,
Sure.
and a second and third act,
Yeah.
and there is media to be presented with that I
Cool.
think
Okay.
is worth sharing.
All right. Well, subscribe to the Patreon if you want to get the whole entire saga from Aaron Joseph Peter.
Picture a world.
Yeah, I'll fucking take my clothes off. What?
Yeah, Aaron will take his clothes off and tell you everything you need to. I'm going to say goodnight. My name is John Fahey.
And my name is Aaron Pita.
Rapper so.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Starburns Audio.